Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. I'm your host, Cooley. We got another amazing episode today. Man, we doing a debate night. It's Wednesday, the usual scheduled programming. We should be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram right now. Let's go ahead and check. Yeah, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram is looking like we are live. Let's go ahead and check Facebook real quick. Make sure everything is good. Hey, chat, if y'all could hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can't hear me, put a 2 in the chat. 1 in the chat if you could hear me, 2 in the chat if you can't. I think it's good. Is it choppy? Hold up. Let me see. No, we look good. Okay. All right. All right, chat. Let's hop into the intro and get things started, man. Let's go. Could understand out the door. All right, we are back, man. We are working on a new intro. I do got my guys working on the intro because we was out in Miami. We got a whole lot of footage, even though the Miami trip ain't fully go as planned because homie got sick out there. But we got a whole lot of footage and it was dope. Y'all gonna like the new intro. That should be done this Friday. So when we do the live show with the ladies this Friday, you should see the new intro. Y'all gonna like that. All new music too, man. So y'all gonna like that as well. Other than that, currently we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And our Facebook right now, it's debate night. We are debating Secularist. We are debating Feminist and all haters or anyone with different opinions and perspectives. If you are on Instagram and you tuned in right now and you want to join this live stream, go on over to YouTube. That's No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube and click the first link in the description. That's to join the virtual live stream. Once you click that link, you just put in your information and you got to have your camera on and your microphone on. You could join the stream. The second link is to become a member. If you like this podcast and you support it and you want to continue to watch this podcast grow, click that second link. We got 3 tiers. First tier is gang. Second tier is hitman. Third tier is mob ties. The platform is growing. We about to reach 200K on YouTube. So that's big, man. And we only been doing it for a year and a half now. Officially a year and a half. So, well, actually, it'll be a year and a half and 2 weeks. That'll be a year and a half. But the third link in the description is for one-on-one coaching. If you need coaching, dating and relationships, if your woman is withholding sex for compliance, if your man is inadequate, or if you just inadequate yourself, go ahead and click that third link. Sign up for one-on-one coaching. And yeah, man, I do couples coaching, relationships and dating. And also I do marketing and media coaching. My platforms is all doing very well, all monetized. I make money on all of them. So if you want to make passive income just by posting content, hit me up, man. I'll show you the formula. I'll show you how to do it. If you want to know how to go viral, I'm always viral. So click that link, man. I'll show you the necessary steps to take to go viral. Other than that, the fourth link in the description is for merch. Currently, all the merch is sold out, but I literally have boxes of merch right in the back. So the boxes of merch will be packaged up. Well, we are going to release the new merch. I would say maybe this Friday. I got to make sure, the Shopify and everything is all squared away. If not, definitely next Friday, the new merch and also the Mr. Man glasses. Matter of fact, where my glasses at, man? Glasses should be... Oh, my glasses over there. But yes, y'all know the famous glasses I wear, man. Yeah, this is my brand. So those glasses are dropping. We got them all here. So they drop in. That's going to be next week too. For sure. I know y'all been asking about the shirts and the glasses, bro. Just hold on. They coming soon. Let me check IG real quick. Make sure we really live. Hold up. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we are live on IG. All right, bet. Okay. We do have a sponsor for today. Let's go ahead and hop into that sponsor. And then we'll bring up the first person to debate today. And like I said, man, anyone can join the stream. If you are a supporter, you like the content, and you just want to chop it up with me, this is a pretty chill stream today. So, click that link in the description, the first link in the description on YouTube. You can join the stream. If you have different opinions about dating and relationships, about religion, about anything you want to talk about, or you just want to kind of ask me some questions and get my perspective on stuff, it's a chill stream tonight. So click that link and I'll add you in. But for today's sponsor, let's go ahead and run this.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us, ready to buy, or to the number on the screen. Starting pricing for low-end software, $100, and starting pricing for high-end software, $500. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal buyers protection guarantee.
All right, we are back. So I see the chat in here. I see the mods. Okay, we got Tim M in the building. We got Lord Geotron is in here. And we got Joe Glow. I see you in here. We got the members in here and the mods in here modding it up. Got a super chat that came in. We got William Barnes sends in $5. He says, are you familiar with the book Acts in the Bible? Salvation is in Acts 2:38 King James Version. Yeah, man, I'm familiar with Acts. That's repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus, name of Jesus Christ for, the forgiveness of your sins, and you will receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. So, yeah, man, I'm familiar with Acts, and I've actually received that gift. If you got any other questions, man, I see here you also said you got some questions. Yo, if you want to join the stream, feel free to join the stream, man. Just click that first link in the description, and I'll bring you up, man. 1 second here. All right, let's bring up the first debater for today. We got T. T is back. What's going on, T? What up? Hold up, let me switch this real quick. There we go. What's good, T? Talk to me, man.
Same old, how are you?
Doing pretty good, man. How's life?
It's life. It's hot. Very hot.
It's hot. It is hot. You in Cali, right?
Right. It's
okay.
Like 103 today.
You said 103?
Yes.
Dang. Yo, yes. Yeah, I'm in PA, man. It ain't that hot. I think it wasn't, I don't even think it was in the 80s. Maybe 76 or something like that. It wasn't too hot.
Okay. Must be nice.
So, man, what you got for me today?
In our previous conversation, we were talking about, it's just one of the things I wanted to touch on, was you had said that a woman is at her most submissive when she's given up the box or she's sleeping with someone. When I think about it, or when I've given it a little bit more thought, what do you think about the fact that a woman would probably be much more likely to sleep with someone before she would give them control of her finances or cook or clean? Would that mean that she'd be more submissive if she were to give them control over her finances?
A woman giving control over her finances over giving control over her body?
Yeah.
No, I just think that she probably got her priorities all messed up. A woman's body is sacred. A woman's value is tied to her sexuality. So with that being said, I think that physically the most ultimate form of submission for a woman is sex.
Okay. Physically.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yep.
In the last clip, or in the clip you recently uploaded, you have disagreements with a man and a woman being partners. What is your stance on why that is negative, with acknowledging, I don't know if you will acknowledge, but that obviously men in 2024 are hypergamous now, and hypergamous for a reason. Would you not think that maybe that is due to men desiring partnerships?
Yeah, I could touch on that in a second. I see we got a few people that just came in. Wait patiently, men, and I will bring you guys up when me and T is finished with the discussion. So I don't agree with your presupposition that men are hypergamous.
Okay.
I don't think that is true.
Okay.
I think when we spoke about that before, you concluded that men are hypergamous with certain examples of like, well, men that has doctorate degrees or lawyers and stuff like that, they tend to date the same people, the opposite sex that's in their same bracket of class. You use that example, right?
No.
So you never used that example? I thought you did. That was like a month ago when we debated.
Don't think so, but if I did, forgive me.
Okay, sure.
So the definition of hypergamy, the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background, and a practice of a person dating or marrying a spouse of higher social status or sexual capital.
Yep.
So
I don't believe that men are hypergamous. If you want to go ahead and elaborate on your presupposition to try to convince me, go ahead.
Sure. In the majority of marriages, men are marrying up educationally. In 50% of marriages, this is sort of broadly speaking, the wife makes as much or more than her husband. In the examples of her making more, she's on average making $53,000 more. In Black couples, 60% of wives make as much or more than their husbands. So we checked the educational box of men, the majority men marrying up. We've checked the financial box, and then obviously men are marrying up in sexual capital. So every key pillar of hypergamy, men are checking the box in 2024. And it seems like they are doing that because they desire partnership.
Got you. So the data points that you stated in regards to not Black culture, I do believe with, Black people dating, Black women tend to make a little bit more because there's more Black women in college, I believe, than any other race currently right now. Correct. So they're getting degrees and they're, in higher education and they're going in certain career fields that's just paying a little bit more currently right now in the Black community. But as far as in overall in the majority of like everything else besides the Black community, I don't believe that women out earn men, because that's what you stated, or was kind of...
No. So out of 100 marriages, 50 wives will make as much or more than their husbands.
50 wives will make as much or more than their husbands. And where did you get this data from?
I can shoot it over to you. It's I think it was a Pew Research.
Shoot it in the chat. I didn't see that.
Okay. Let me find it.
The private chat.
Yeah, for sure. Let me find it for you. I think I'm going to send you a couple. I'm going to send you this one.
Got you. And while you're shooting it over, I'll just make a point real quick, right? So we don't need... Yep. We don't actually need, data is always great. We can always look at data and it's like, okay, we have a statistic. Now let's go ahead and, use this statistic to make a point. Anyone can have any statistic and try to, make any logical point they want, right?
Right.
So
I agree.
With that being said, men, generally speaking, I would say from a nature standpoint, like something that's innately in men, we do not care about a woman's finances. We don't prioritize a woman's finances, right? From an innate.
Okay.
I would say the first things that men tend to prioritize is beauty, because men tend to fall in love with their eyes. The second thing that men prioritize is purity. Men, we get disgusted when we know or think or hear something that the woman has slept with a best friend, a friend of a friend, or she's a whore in the town. That disgusts us. We may still smash, but we don't. If we had options, we wouldn't wife that woman up. So I think men prioritize beauty and purity. After beauty and purity, I think there's a multitude of other things men still prioritize over finances, like femininity, being able to give a man peace, and a multitude of other feminine characteristic traits that the man desires because he's masculine, right? Now, I think that in this day and age where, inflation is up and you have both parties working, the woman is out there working just as much as the man is working. I think that men and women, it kind of goes like this. Men kind of take what they can get. You agree with that? When they're dating, they kind of take what they can get?
I think I disagree. Like,
Okay.
you mean like as far as like in finances?
I'm just speaking about in relationships in general. Like, let's peel the layer back instead of we'll get to finances in a second.
Okay.
But just in general. So
Men
like
take
when a
what they
man
can
is
get in a bar,
like when a
sure.
well, I mean this, when a man is out there dating, he's a heterosexual man and he's out there courting women. It's safe to say, would you agree that he kind of takes what he can get?
In comparison to a woman, yes, I would agree with that.
Okay, got it. In comparison to a woman. So if a man can only attract, right? He can only attract certain type of women, or not even certain type of women. I think what I'm saying is it's in a man's nature to want someone feminine, submissive, and can cheer him on, right? But he'll go ahead and put that aside if he's not attracting that. So if he has, for example, if a guy has, let's say, two options for a girl. The one is out there working, getting a bag. She makes a little bit more than him, but her attitude is a little bit more rash. Her attitude is a little bit more non-agreeable. Her attitude is a little bit more, it could be just pressing on the man like, God dang, calm down. You're a woman, chill. That's one woman. Then the other woman, she makes less than him, right? But they're both just as beautiful. She makes less than him, though. But that woman is feminine, fun, submissive, and cheering him on. I believe that the majority of men, I would say probably all men, if they're being honest, would choose the second girl over the first girl that's making money. What is your thoughts on that?
I think I loosely agree with that. But
Okay, what part don't you agree with it?
I think if I were to think about it like, and I guess I'll ask you this, or tell me what you think of it. If it was twin sisters, they are identical, femininity, yada, 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 all things being equal, but one's a barista at Starbucks, one is a school teacher. I think the majority of men would choose the school teacher because of the things that come along with that are associated with being a school teacher, as far as she has a degree, she has a pension, she's going to be financially more stable. She'll probably have a higher likelihood to have, vacation time, be able to buy a house. She'll be more, and so forth. So I think those things do matter to men. If we know that their median income is $50K, those things have to matter to a logical man. If you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to provide for kids, so forth.
So now we got to break it down from the barista or the school teacher that's making more money, that's asserting herself more. I don't agree with the presupposition. Okay. I don't think that it's even possible that both would have the same femininity, the same capability of being feminine and submissive. I don't think that. And I'll break it down to the reason why. Okay. So in order to make money, the reason why only 20% of the population makes $100,000 a year is because it's hard to do. Right? You have to have discipline. You have to be non-agreeable to an extent. You have to assert yourself, and you have to kind of act despite how you feel in a certain way. You have to be very goal oriented to make that much. Now, let's say school teachers make about they make about 70,000 right now, which is still well above average because the average income is around $45,000 to $50,000 a year.
Right.
So the school teacher is still asserting herself a lot more than the barista woman, right? And I would say that when you are, in order to meet a goal, to be a school teacher, you're going through school, you're adhering to certain things, you're being compliant to, you're asserting yourself to certain things, and all of that builds character. So I'm saying in order to make money, you have to build your character to make the money. And I'm saying that as a woman builds that character, now we're speaking with lower incomes anyway, but I would say that the more you assert yourself and the more adversities you overcome, you're building character. And a woman that's building that character, it's inherently that she becomes a little bit more non-agreeable, a little bit more assertive, a little bit more dominant, right? And those characteristic traits are the opposite of feminine traits, right? So I would say, generally speaking, if we're looking at it logically, a barista chick and a chick that's, a school teacher, the school teacher is definitely more masculine than a chick that's just doing something like, oh, okay, yeah, she's not really asserting herself. She's not overcoming any adversity. She doesn't have to build any type of frame to overcome the traumas and the stresses of a hard job, because it's a very simple job. And I think that the woman, when she works a harder job, it's harder for her to let down that masculine frame that she built up to get that job to when she's in a home with a man. And I think that most men see that even in the courting process. Most men see that like, dang, like you so cautious, you so just let's chill, let's hang out. The chick that's a school teacher, she probably got some walls up. So this is what we talk about in this space. And I think that trauma kind of hurts a woman. It hurts her femininity. Trauma, if you overcome it as a man, it kind of builds that masculinity. So yeah, go ahead. What's your thoughts?
I disagree.
Okay, what part do you disagree with?
That the teacher would be sort of like exuding masculine qualities. I would think
I'm saying that she has a higher probability to exude those masculine qualities than a chick that's not even using, that doesn't have to assert herself or really use her mind too much.
But now, I know you like to speak toward inherent and biological, things, innate nature, things like that. Which again, I will probably forever reject all of these biological claims until I see, just a smattering of data on it or some kind of source material. But I would think that if I were to even entertain like a man's like biological imperative, I would think that it would be to reproduce with the best candidate as, for their wife. I can't see, I guess, a realistic space where a man would see a school teacher, an elementary school teacher, that is nursing.
Okay, now it's elementary.
Well, or any teacher.
Right.
Yeah, I won't move the goalpost on you. Any teacher that can shows like that education matters, care matters, empathy matters, structure matters. Like all of these things that come with a teaching, I think it is like by definition feminine. And a barista, like if you're talking about potentially a part-time barista, that's maybe just because that's what a barista, it's not a career, it
isn't a career,
right? So it's something you're having fun. What are you? Why are you a barista? What are you prioritizing to why you're doing a part-time job? I think those things may speak more toward more masculine energy. If you're just sort of wanting just sort of flow in the wind. What do you think?
I feel what you're saying. You're saying that the chick that's a barista, maybe this, that. Okay, so I got another scenario for you. We could speak about this, but then we can move on. Okay. And if you don't, I still disagree with your presupposition, but I'm willing to take a step to grant it, to move on to the root of what you really want to speak about.
Right.
So it's like this. I would say that, a woman that's, put it like this. What would you say about who would be more feminine? a woman that's living at home with her parents, like who would exude those feminine quality traits? A woman that's living at home with her parents, or a woman that has her own place?
I think the woman that has her own place.
Yeah.
I know we disagree.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that's where I see you. I mean, this is your third time I'm having you on, and I see your mindset, and it logically doesn't make sense because the woman that is living at home with her parents, mother and father, she has more guidance, right? She's not out there handling the world and feeling overwhelmed by the adversities and the stresses that the world brings her and puts on her, like the woman that is still guided and surrounded by a family. It doesn't have to really go through all of those things. Experience, right? All human beings, what we experience and the things that we overcome, because masculinity and femininity is just like energies. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Anyone
I think
can.
they have a lot of overlap.
Yeah, it's a definitely overlap, and male or female, we know a lot of dudes that's zesty and feminine. We know a lot of women that's masculine, right?
Sure.
So a woman that is out living on her own and working, she's experiencing more. She's more likely, the probability is higher that she's experiencing traumas and have to overcome them, experiencing adversities and have to overcome those. So she's more likely to build up a masculine frame rather than the chick that's at home being coddled by her family and not experiencing a whole lot.
And see, I agree with you there when you say coddled, but when I think of a woman that's still living at home and her being coddled, that sort of doesn't exude feminine energy, that exudes childish energy. And I don't think
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I don't think a man would want a woman that doesn't know how to, because if you're talking about having, again, because obviously I believe in partnership, if you're talking about building a life with someone, you don't want a woman that doesn't know how to pay a bill, that doesn't know how to cook a meal, that doesn't have any kind of understanding about life.
I would say that the woman that is living at home with her parents, she's more likely to be cooking. Of course, the woman that's living alone, she has to cook her own meals.
Exactly.
But I still would say that the woman that is living at home with her parents, right? She has her mother and her father there.
Ideally.
What do mothers do? Mothers instill the nurturing aspect into the woman. So I would say that woman is more likely to be very nurturing. Fathers, what do? They instill discipline into the kids. So I would say that woman is more likely to not, do any hedonistic behaviors and be degenerate, right? So I would say that the woman that's living on her own, she's more likely to do more hedonistic things, to indulge into vices, and to end up maybe on a stripper pole or doing something promiscuous. She has her own place. She can call a man up at any time. She can have dudes rotate in the door. The woman that's living at home with her parents, daddy ain't letting that happen. You got to be at home. I know you're a grown woman. You may be 24 years old, but I need you in the house by 12, on the weekends, maybe 1. And, daddy going to be looking after her. So I would say that, and not only that, she's being loved the whole time. And I'm not saying that this is how women should live. I'm saying that just for this hypothetical, who would be more feminine? The woman at home would more. It's a higher probability that she would hold and embody more feminine characteristic traits. And not only that, she would actually, the probability would be higher that she would have a lower body count as well.
But remember, what's your
thoughts?
Remember the data. The lower body count means potentially a higher divorce rate. And
it doesn't mean that. So once again, the data that we talked about in the last podcast, the data that I have and that's known, it's popular, it's viral. Hollywood Unlocked posted it. No Jumper posted it. What'd you say?
I'd love to see it. Yeah, shoot it my way. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I can shoot it your way. But once a woman reaches a body count between 5 or 6, the probability for her to maintain a long-term relationship drops down to 20%. Your data shows that when a woman reaches a body count of 10, she's more likely to maintain a relationship rather than a woman that has a body count of 2. You said, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And logically, if we even think about it, right? This is why like data is cool, but it's like, all right, well, what can you extrapolate from the data to make it make logical sense? A woman that had 10 penises in her, well, she's more likely to have fear of missing out. She's more likely to be unsatisfied because she fear of missing out is she had so many wangs.
Wouldn't you say the woman that has 2 partners would be more likely to have fear of missing out than the woman that has 10?
Nope, doesn't logically make sense. I'll explain.
Okay.
Yep. Women, when they get with men, they like to compare and contrast. They compare and contrast these 3 things mainly, right? They compare and contrast a man's masculinity. They compare and contrast a man's, really 4 things. His charismaticness, the way that man can make her feel the vibes. Oh, this nigga was funny, but Tyrone wasn't really that funny. I think I'm kind of missing Tyrone, or I kind of want something else that remind me of Tyrone. That dude was kind of raising me up. That was funny. She also compare and contrast finances. A man that can take, give her security, right? And then she also compare and contrast sex.
Sure.
So with those 4 things, that's what she compare and contrast. So think about it. The woman that experienced so much, she's experienced all these dick sizes, all these finances, all this, different vibes and charismaticness. And think about it. If she's just letting people inside her, which is her body should be a temple, her value is tied to her sexuality, but she doesn't have the mindset, right, and the willpower to not see the red flags in guys and to always keep letting guys hit it without really picking that guy that can lock her down. Well, she's more likely to never be locked down. She's more likely to be unsatisfied and an unruly woman. What does that correlate to? She's more likely to have fear of missing out. Well, what am I missing out on? I had these, I'm comparing this and this. It's fear of missing out. I know what some people think about what their minds aren't right. Well, the woman that has sex with 2 guys, well, she would probably have fear of missing out. Well, let's think about it. It doesn't make sense. She didn't even experience anything too much. Think about it. And not only that, why didn't she experience anything too much? Because she had discipline and she holds her body as a temple. So she's more likely to have a mindset to have sexual temperance rather than the slore. So she wouldn't be having fear of missing out. It's not in her character. It's not in her morality.
I think, I 100% disagree there. It's
God dang, T, what?
Yeah, I know. Like, for example.
All right, how you disagree? Give me 1 point.
Like, I collect shoes. Well, I used to collect shoes. I have after I had my first 20 pair, then when I probably got up to my first 100 pair, I had a much better idea of what I wanted after I got to my 100th
Bad
pair.
Example, T. Shoes aren't humans because humans have consciousness and morality, and they do immoral act. Like, do you think? I got a question for you, real quick.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on morality? Do you think morality is subjective or objective?
100% subjective.
Okay, so I got a question for you then, because here's where we like talking past one another sometimes. So maybe we should go there. I think that'd be a good one, morality.
Cool.
Do you think it's immoral? Oh, let's say this, since you think it's subjective. For example, if you have a daughter, if your daughter, would you want your daughter to have sex with 100 guys or 1 guy?
Preferably up to me, 1 guy.
1 guy. And why would you want your daughter to have sex with 1 guy?
I think it mitigates risk.
Okay, so, mitigates risk.
Yeah, so if she sleeps with 1 guy, less bad things can happen.
Less bad things can happen to her. Less bad things can happen to the guy. And do you think if everyone operated like that in society, that would be a good thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, I got a question. Let me switch up the question.
Okay.
So you, say if you had a daughter, you would obviously, your kid, that's a copy of yourself. You obviously love your daughter, right? So you're looking at it from a sense that so my question is, would you want everyone to operate like your daughter with a one body count because it would mitigate risk and they would have, less bad experiences and the man would have less bad experiences? And if everyone operated like how your precious daughter operated and only had one body, wouldn't you, if your daughter would be good, if you deem that your daughter, if that would be best for your daughter and she would be a good person, wouldn't you think if you extrapolate that out and everyone operated like her, the world would be better?
Potentially, but I think that's where it gets hard, because now I'm hindering on other people's free will. Because what if somebody else wants to go?
I'm not.
That's not strictly for me.
I got you. That's not an argument. So I'm saying this is an ought claim. So you said that your daughter ought to have one body. Now it's a reason why she ought to have one body, and you gave those reasons, right?
Well, in comparison to the 100, yes. Got
it. So if all women ought, so if you would choose the one body for your daughter, right? Why? My question is, why wouldn't you want people to operate just like your daughter? If that's what would be best for your daughter, wouldn't you think that that's what would be best for your neighbor's daughter, the community's daughter, and everyone else?
Unfortunately, no, because I think this almost I hate to completely change the conversation, but if are you still streaming on Facebook and Instagram?
You got a word you want to say? I could probably close out.
It's not a big deal. I'll censor it.
Okay.
If two women were pregnant, I may have different advice for one of them. So, and I think that both advice could be very different for each woman, and I think they could both be sound morally. Does that make sense?
Okay, talking about abortion?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. You said it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think we're fine to speak about that on Facebook and IG. Let me just check real quick on Facebook. Okay. 1 second here. Chat, we do it live, man. I see it. We got a lot of people in here that wants to come in. Will, I got you. Ryan, I got you. And Mr. 5-star, I got you. Gonna have about 5, maybe 10 more minutes with T, and just wait patiently and I'll bring you guys up. 1 second. Let me go ahead and close out. Hey, everyone on Facebook, come on over to YouTube, because conversation probably gonna get a little bit too spicy. So come on over to YouTube at No Fugazee Podcast. Let me go ahead and close this out. All right. Okay. All right, cool. So when I were just live on YouTube and Instagram, I'm going to stay on Instagram for a little bit. Actually, let me check the IG real quick. Yeah. See.
Yeah, up to you. I can go.
Yeah,
I can go. It's not crazy. But
I got you. Yeah, I know what you were saying. Hold on. Let me just check something real quick. Okay. Yeah, we'll stay live on Instagram for a little bit more. Everyone on Instagram, start just making your way over to No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. And yeah, but go ahead. You were talking about abortion. Yeah. You were making a comparison. So you said that if it was, you would give different advice to two different women
that are both pregnant. And I think that both of the advice could still be moral, which is why I would say that, to tie that back to your original hypothetical, is just if I think is what's best for my daughter to have one partner, I don't know that I would then make the prescription to another girl that one partner may be best for her.
But 1 versus 100, that's the hypothetical.
That's hard. I think, I would probably always prescribe 1 versus 100. Sure.
Okay, got you. Or, so when I was even say 1 versus 50, let's just break it in half. Would you say 1 versus 50?
50's a lot, but yeah, most likely. But if you go to 25, I may change it.
Okay, no worries. Let's just go 1 versus 50, right? So the reason why I asked that hypothetical, because we're talking about morality right now. And that hypothetical is to test your logic, right? So I'm saying that morality is objective. You're saying that is subjective, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
the answer to the question that you just the answer that you gave to my question proves that morality is objective. So you know, based off your answer, that you would advise your daughter to only sleep with one guy versus 50 guys due to X amount of reasons, due to mitigate risk and all of these. As the number goes up, she takes more risk. She takes more risk and more risk and more risk and more risk, right? So what's best for you to do for your daughter is to only have sex with one guy and marry that one guy. That's why you chose that answer. Is because you know it's morally good. And even if you're not even thinking about like mitigating risk, you know that well, do you agree that a woman's value is tied to her sexuality?
No, I don't.
To some capacity? To some capacity, you don't agree?
Probably to some capacity. But
Okay.
again, I think that's value. I think that is subjective also, depending on beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And even then, how you may view a woman that has, one partner may be different from how somebody may view somebody who has 10 partners, right?
Yeah, with the whole beauty is the eye of the beholder, that's not necessarily true. Beauty, scientifically proven, is symmetry. So, and then there's also biology. So in a face, it's symmetry, symmetrical. And then as far as its biology, what a man is attracted to in a woman, a man is attracted to the Coke figure, a smaller waist with wider hips. The reason why is because a woman with wider hips, from a biological standpoint, she's more likely to have and gives the man a successful birth. Give his kids a successful birth. The reason why before C-sections were invented, if the woman didn't have wider hips, the baby is more likely to not be able to flip into the right angle to come out the uterus. With wider hips, it's more room and the baby can turn more and come out. Not only that, the doctors and everything is able to shift the baby as well for the baby to come out. So from a biological standpoint, how the creator, God, created us, we're attracted to the Coke figure. Wider hips, we're automatically attracted to it. Also, with women, they're attracted to, from a biological standpoint, they're attracted to jawline, broader shoulders, and chest, and bigger chest and arms. So they're attracted to the T-shape. We're attracted to the Coke bottle. Women are attracted to the T-shape. The T-shape just shows that the man is more masculine and has the capability of protecting her long term, and having the ability to hunt and gather. Let's say thousands of years ago. So I understand what you mean as far as beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's because our mothers and grandmothers had low self-esteem and lied to us. So,
but even then, though, I do think there is some truth to the things you did say.
Yep.
But we would still, I would go back to like your previous point, to like how you said how men settle, and men will settle for things, and I think that is an unarguable truth. So I think that's where a lot of subjectivity will come into play.
Okay, you said you don't think that men would settle with a lot of stuff?
I think they would, like how you had said, men will settle, or they're more likely to settle.
Oh,
And
men,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think so. So if you have this woman that has the Coke bottle, but she's super masculine, but then you have a woman that's just, built like a rectangle, but she's super feminine, I think that men would probably have to reconsider these things. So I think that's where you have to sort of quantify the effects.
So I get what you're saying. So here's how it comes into the play. Good example, right? So you said a woman with a Coke figure, but she's masculine. The
Right.
woman with she's shaped like SpongeBob, but
Right.
she ultra feminine.
Right.
We have examples in this right now. No one wants Whoopi Goldberg or Oprah Winfrey. They got all the money in the world, but they shape like SpongeBob. Ain't nobody attracted to them. You know what I'm saying? I think Oprah's still single to this day, and she's a billionaire.
Stedman's still holding it down? I'm not sure.
No, bro. Yeah. So remember when you said that men are hypergamous? If that's the case, they would have been taking Oprah like, Oprah, please, I want you. No man is looking Oprah's way. Okay. But not only that, she can get someone. But I'm saying that not only that, Oprah, she's the woman is actually hypergamous. She makes $1 billion. A lot of men, she don't even see a lot of men. A lot of men is see-through. Them niggas is invisible. So with that being said, like, it just doesn't correlate, my buddy. But
we've seen Tom Brady's wife date down. We've seen Kim Kardashian date down.
Well, it's reasons for
Bezos' wife date down.
It's reasons for a woman with such high, status and income to date down, because one, those women are older, so they reach the wall, right? Those women reach the wall. So they have to date down. One, their finances is so high and they reach the wall. And not only that, there's not enough men in the market that would choose that older woman that's rich. The older guys that has money, they're going to date the younger girls. You know what I mean? So like, for example, Kim K having Kanye, she's never going to be able to find a Kanye. But you see Kanye finding many of Kim Kardashians. Based off of beauty, because that's what he doesn't care about the woman's money, right? So now let's go back to your example. You said that a woman that has the SpongeBob body, but she's feminine, versus the woman that is got the Coke figure, but she's masculine. Most men operate off of their nature. So they're going to choose that woman with the Coke figure, the woman with the yams. Niggas want yams. Thanksgiving, men is going to choose the yams over the SpongeBob woman, right? But the thing is, he going to have to keep bumping his head like, dang, why did I choose that? I was in my nature. My morality didn't supersede my nature. So I'm saying at some point, a man's morality needs to supersede his nature. His nature is to want the Coke figure, but it's like that crazy attitude. His morality, if it supersedes the nature, he's gonna be like, no, this woman can't give me peace. I'm gonna choose this type of woman that can give me peace, right?
But you see, if his morality can't supersede nature, that would mean his morality is subjective.
That wouldn't mean that his morality is subjective, right? That also means that now we gotta correlate with a man with options, right? I explained it to Antenna on a podcast, and I'm sure you've seen some clips as well.
I did. But
do you agree with
about men being insecure?
Not that part.
Okay.
Let me know if you agree with this, and then I'll give you 2 more questions, and then I'll get to the next caller, because we've been going for a little bit. So competence creates accomplishments, which then creates true, genuine confidence in a guy. And when a guy has that confidence, meaning that it's authentic, he's not like a used car salesman just selling girls a dream and lying all the time and conveying himself based off of, things that he really doesn't have and things that he really didn't accomplish. Women, they could kind of source those guys out. And men, we could look at those guys like, man, you're a used car salesman, you're lying. So when you're competent, and you have some accomplishments, some things that you actually accomplished, an accomplished man has more confidence than an unaccomplished man. That's one. Also, what it does is it creates options in a man. When you got options, you have an abundance mindset. When you have an abundance mindset, then that's when you have the ability to be intolerant of females' inadequacies. Competence creates accomplishments, which creates confidence, abundance of options, then abundance mindset, and you're intolerant of the masculine woman because you have options. You're intolerant of the woman that has OnlyFans because you have options. You're intolerant of the woman that's stripping because you have options. And I think that when men have options, they will make the moral choice of, man, I'll take the 6 that's super feminine. We actually see it. We actually see it. The NBA players, the girls that they actually become, the athletes, all the celebrities that has the options, the majority of them, their wives be average looking chicks. They be sleeping with mad other Johns, but their wives be some average looking girls, bro.
But I'm gonna try to tie this back. When you say that a competent man that has an abundance mentality or mindset, he has got there via experience, right? Just like how you said, like he's accomplished more, therefore he has, I guess, more notches on his belt. Is that sort of
not even sex? He doesn't have to have more notches on his belt. No, not
just
sex.
Accomplishments. he's seen the world, therefore he can logically make an assessment as to what is better for him.
Not that is one, but the main thing is that he's able to attract more females because females are innately attracted to guys with genuine confidence. They're also attracted to guys that's competent. They don't want no dummy. Dumb guys, you can't rizz a chick up if you're dumb.
Yeah.
Just don't work.
Yeah. All I'd say is I think I would be able to directly sort of tie that back over to our previous conversation about the woman living at home with her parents versus the woman that's out and about. Because she's out and about, because she has that life and experience, because she understands the way the world works, that she will be able to better assess for a suitor and what makes her happier. And therefore, she will be able to embrace her femininity, where the girl at home is still going to be sort of childish and guided because she will have no way to be able to. She would be the quote unquote insecure guy in comparison to the competent guy. I know there's going to be differences within sex, but I do think there is a lot of overlap there.
I would say that is zero overlap because trauma builds men and trauma breaks women. Trauma and adversities builds men. Like if you go through some traumas as a man and some adversities and you overcome it, you build character. That makes you more masculine. A masculine man, more men trust a masculine man. A masculine man, more women want to be led by a masculine man. But vice versa, it doesn't happen with women. When women experience traumas and adversities, she overcomes it. But in order to overcome it, she has to tweak a few things, just like the man has to tweak a few things because we're all human beings. So she's like, oh, then I went through this, so let me, not go through this again. Let me be a little bit more non-agreeable. Let me be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more dominant so I don't go through those stresses that this other nigga put me through. So it puts up walls. And I think that it doesn't go to your example because the woman that's not living at home with her family versus the woman that is just living at home by herself, experiencing all the traumas and adversities up on her own and not having her dad and family to give her guidance, she's more likely to build up those walls and be a masculine woman, which guys are not attracted to.
Well, I disagree with a lot.
God dang, T.
High
good?
level, I don't think that men respond well to trauma. I think the prison population is a reflection of that. I think the addicts are a reflection of that. I think that it seems like women.
I said overcome.
Overcome.
Yeah. Not just trauma. If anyone experiences trauma and they didn't overcome it, men or women, they're cooked.
Okay.
Done deal. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's tough because I think, obviously I'm biased. I see a lot of women that overcome trauma and they become awesome mothers. They become awesome employees, owners, and so forth. But last thing before you in a clip you said, and this will sort of maybe track even back to what you said about antenna, and this still tracks to it within our conversation.
Okay.
That you said that.
And one thing, hold that thought real quick. I see Roland Miller. I see Cash In. I see Will, you still in here, and also Mr. 5 Star. Just wait out. We got about maybe 3 more minutes with T, and then we're gonna, get to you guys. But go ahead, T.
You had said there's a clip of you saying that, I'm gonna butcher it, but you'll know what I'm saying. You said that a man it is biologically impossible for a man to feel insecure to a woman that makes more money.
Yeah.
Something along right. So, and I know we obviously will disagree with data points and that, but I mean I still feel obligated to introduce it.
Sure.
There's a study done. 6,000 couples were surveyed.
Yep.
Over 15 years, and concluded that men experience the most psychological distress when they are or one of the highest amounts when they're the head of household.
When they're the head of household, yeah, okay.
When they're the head of household, when they are having to financially provide, they're stressed out.
Yeah.
They start to become happier as their wives make more, up to the point to where their wives make 40%. That is when men are the happiest within their relationship, is when their wives make just about half, which sort of speaks to my part about partnership. But now, when the woman starts to make more than the 40%, and she starts to make more than her husband, his psychological distress, his insecurities go way up. And it directly correlates that as the woman starts to make more, his psychological distress goes up. So I guess I'd be curious to your thoughts on that.
Yeah, sure. So I totally disagree. It just
I know.
a man just doesn't operate like that. I'll give my anecdotal experience. I used to be broke, man. I made was making $14 an hour when I was like 21 all the way to like, maybe even 24. And even when I was 18 years old, I used to date this chick in high school, right? And she used to give me, I was a little pimp back in them days. She used to give me some bread and let me drive for BMW. I said, skirt, pulling up. And I can assure you that I didn't have an insecure bone in my body. Let me finish though. Let me finish. Hold up. That's just my anecdotal experience. That's just me giving y'all some personal stuff because I'm hardly ever personal on here. But generally speaking, when it comes to insecurity means a lack of confidence, right? So a woman is not competition for a man. She's not competition from a biological standpoint. She's not competition for a man. And also she's not competition for a man is because attraction isn't symmetrical. The man doesn't look for the same things in a woman that the woman looks for in him. The man looks for a feminine, submissive woman that can be his cheerleader and give him peace. The woman looks for the competent man that can give her security and that can guide her and protect and provide for her. So if a man is, it wouldn't correlate for him to be insecure to a woman that's making money. If anything, what happens is why maybe that data came out, because women tend to project. When a woman meets a man and she's with a man in a relationship and she's out earning him, she subconsciously views him as less. So then she projects and says, well, this nigga insecure, da-da-da-da-da-da. But the reality is he isn't insecure. The fact is that she's just putting all of her thoughts onto the man, but innately that nigga's sitting back chilling in a crib eating snacks and not even worried about the woman making more money. If anything, he's annoyed because she's being a little bit annoying and talking down on him. So if anything, why the man would feel, I would say the man would feel more stress and be more stressed out being with a woman that's working and earning more is because she's inherently will look down at that man and grow resentment. That's when she starts to withhold sex for compliance. Like there's a multitude of things about a woman that women operate differently. So they have what they are aroused by, and then they have what they are attracted by, right? Arousal and attraction for a woman is different. Women get aroused by masculine dominant men. Women are attracted to the dark triad traits in men, and mostly younger women are attracted to that. And then women tend to not be attracted by the dark triad traits in men when they start to, feel the traumas and adversities from dealing with a multitude of men, and when they kind of reach that wall in the dating market. So with that being said, like guys aren't insecure because a woman makes money. Usually it's just like the woman is just projecting and she's hurt and she really doesn't like that dude. And then he feels that he suffers by dealing with a woman like that.
I'd have to reread the study, but it was 6,000 couples surveyed over 15 years. And the
send me
doctor
that
was
study.
running it.
When was that study done? Yeah, because I want to see that study. And not only not only that, like I said, like the reason why, let me ask you a personal question, T.
Sure,
Are you a heterosexual male?
Yes.
Okay, so you date women.
I do.
Okay, got it. And were you raised with both of your, with a man in the household or no? Mm-hmm. You were raised with a man full time in your life?
Yeah.
Got you. And who did you gravitate towards more, your mother or your father?
Probably my dad.
Probably your dad? Okay.
Yeah, probably.
And was your dad the head of the household?
Yes.
He was the head of your mother.
Well,
and did your mother view him?
He made more money than my mom.
Okay. Did your mom view your dad as the head of her?
No, and that's where we go back to partnership. But yeah,
To-
no, she didn't. She didn't
okay.
view him
Well,
as
that
that.
well that probably makes sense. Like, was your mom the one that was like, telling your dad what to do? Like, no, Jerry this and yes, Jerry that, and was she kind of like, leading as well?
It was, like, if it came to, like, there was just things that my mom would make more sound decisions.
Who is the main? I got a better question. Who is the main decision maker in your house?
Just overall, maybe my dad.
Okay.
Maybe my
Okay.
dad,
So you do. So you do.
overall.
Okay. So overall, maybe your dad was the main decision maker. So how did you adopt? Because I always say that influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior. So you're thinking that, a partnership, you want a partnership. And I would say that since you want a partnership, then you think that that's what's best for society.
I think overall society agrees with that, and I think the data reflects that. But even then, like, I was also raised with my grandparents.
You was also, okay. So you had some time with your grandparents as well. And was your grandfather the head of the household?
Financially, but Granny ran the show.
Granny ran the show. Yeah, I get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I had
And
the
that's
best
the
of both
thing.
worlds.
And you had to, okay, fair enough. That's good. And that's the thing, right? So like influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. You're thinking right now and behaving like, I kind of want a woman to go 50-50, or even if I make a little bit more, but she's making money, we could still be a partnership. And I'm letting you, you're 30, you're older than me. 30 what? 30?
39. You called me an old man on the last one. We were
39.
in high school at the same time. Yes, sir.
I don't think you're old. I just said you're older than me.
Right.
I'll leave it at that, man. I would just say that I kind of see where your thinking is coming from, because this is your third time being on here, and I appreciate you, man. Yo, T, you know what I'll do? If you can jot down some questions, because me and you have long discussions. If you could jot down some questions and some topics, shoot my team an email, because they told me that you emailed before, and I'll dedicate a whole stream to just chopping it up with you. How about that?
Cool. We'll work it out.
We'll work it out, man. But I appreciate you, man. Have a blessed one.
All right, brother. Be good. Be safe.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, chat. We are live right now. Currently still live on IG too. Let's get to the chats. I see y'all in here. I'm going to bring y'all up in a second. We got Abdul. We got obstacles to opportunities. We got Roland Miller. We got Cashin. We got Will. We got Mr. 5-Star. The order is going to be Mr. 5-Star and then Will, because Will, you was right after Mr. 5-Star. Let me get to the chats real quick. To the chat saying, okay, hold up. Let's see where we at. Wrong one. Okay, no super chats, man. Everyone on YouTube, man, we got a lot of hundreds of people on here. If you support this and you want to ask questions, I will get to your questions right away. So even if you have questions for the people that I bring up that wants to debate and have a conversation, you got to send in a super chat on YouTube. That's No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. Anything you send in, $1, $5, anything, $100, whatever you send in, we appreciate it. And it just goes back into the studio. My finances is fine. I don't need it, but that's the only way that I will read your super chat. I'm not reading any chats. It's so many people in the chat. It'd be crazy for me to actually get to people questions that's in a chat. So you have to send in funds in order for your chat to be read. That's just the way things go. There's a hierarchy to things. All right, let's bring in Mr. 5-Star. Welcome to No Fugazi, man. Can you put your camera on for me? Mr. 5-Star, welcome to No Fugazi. Throw your camera on for me. Okay. Nothing? Well, I'm going to put you back into the waiting room. When you're ready, let me know. We got Will. Welcome to No Fugazi. Will, where you from?
What's going on? I'm from the DMV. I'm from Maryland.
Maryland. Shout out to Maryland.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Salute you on your podcast, man. You're doing a great job. Keep doing your thing.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. I only have one slight disagreement. I agree with 99% of what you say, but I used to think like you on the whole tricking and simping thing until I got a little older. And I was like, I started thinking like, maybe we need to rethink this as black men, you know. And I'll give you 2 reasons why, 2 big reasons, okay?
Sure.
One reason is that when you look at prostitution, which tricking is, it's arbitrary when you really think about it, in my opinion, right? You know, you pay either way. If you get with a girl, she's with you for a small part because of her financial status. So, you know, women, when they get with you, in the back of their mind, they're always debating how much money you're going to make in the future. Can you support her? That's prostitution too. So why are we getting on these guys that are more upfront about it and not getting on us when we take girls on dates, we court women, we buy fancy cars so they can see our earning potential? It's all prostitution. Even marriage has been called soft prostitution. I mean, if you're married and you lose your job, your wife's not going to stay with you for more than a couple months if you're not out there really trying to get, you know what I mean? So I'm very conflicted on that. I've never paid for it, but the older I get, I'm in a relationship now. I'm engaged. So, you know, this is just hypothetical. But let's say in the future, if I get divorced and I'm an older guy, you're going to lose your looks at some point. There's going to be ways you're going to lubricate the process. And I used to hang out with a bunch of rich dudes, a bunch of rich doctors and CEOs. And we used to basically drive them around. I used to be a student under them, long story. But I would see that some of the most respected men in society were doing this. And a lot of times they did it just for practicality reasons. So they wouldn't get a false rape accusation, because it's very dangerous for these men to be dealing with.
Since we're on these platforms, let's try to shorten the verbiage as far as the R word. Let's say grape. As far as the P word, let's just say sex work.
Okay. S work and grape. A lot of the most respected men in society do this out of practicality. And I know you once mentioned it won't give you dignity, but, you know, I found that looking at how they interacted with these girls, it was actually very respectful. You know, I think a girl respects you less when you're broke and you're just doing it off the strength of, you know what I mean? So that's all I got to say. Like,
all right, cool. Got a question for you. So, well, one, here's a statement. There are words, and words have meanings, and words that it's a definition to the word. So prostitution means a direct exchange of income for an exchange of the woman's sexuality. That's what that is. It's direct. It's a direct exchange. Mm-hmm. So here's a question. What's the difference between something that's indirect?
I think it's a matter of degree.
Okay. You said you think that's not answering my question, so I'll just speak. We have to be able to differentiate the two of things that are direct and indirect, right? Mm-hmm. We know that women are hypergamous, and we know that women are complex creatures when it comes to their attraction triggers. They're attracted to a multitude of things in a man. Attracted to his money, his finances, but it's not even the money and the finances, it's the characteristic traits that it takes to make the money and the finances, to make that money. But let alone it is, you know, money as well, because money is security. Money brings more stability. So they're attracted to masculinity. They're attracted to A-type personalities normally, that is assertive and dominant men. So with that being said, we know that women are going to gravitate towards a guy that is more financially inept. That's just a fact. We know that even if the woman is, you know, maybe being courted by multiple men, we know that she's going to be looking like, does he have his stuff together? He doesn't, right? But we also know that if you are a dork, but you got money, you're still a dork. Like, money doesn't make the man. There's more things important than money. And I think women innately know that as well. So even though women are hypergamous, most women don't actually prioritize their hypergamous nature. You know what they prioritize?
Yeah, I know
what do you think they prioritize? It's one word.
In my opinion, they prioritize the connection. They prioritize how attracted they are to you. They
I got
prioritize
you.
how you make them feel.
I got feelings. That's the word. Yeah. Women tend to prioritize how they feel rather than anything, definitely in 2024, right?
Right.
So we all know that since money doesn't make a man, if you're a dork and you can't convey yourself around a woman, you're not really going to have a woman isn't going to have a genuine desire for you, right? I think that both men and women want to have something that's genuine. So when I say that you can't maintain your dignity and your self-respect if you're paying for a woman's sexuality, you just can't. Because how can you get the genuine and most feminine woman to submit to you naturally, right? And actually like you, rather than on the flip side, you paying a chick directly like, yeah, girl, let me go ahead and wax that tail. Well, she's not really going to submit to you and love you and care for you and nurture you and have any type of genuineness with you at all versus the girl that actually, you know, of course she's attracted to money as well, but she actually caught a vibe with you. She's actually like has feelings for you. It's more than just money. So I'm saying that if men, right, if men tend to pay for sex, and not get it the natural way, because paying for sex isn't natural at all. If everyone did it, the world would be over. Relationships would end. So it's immoral. It's an immoral act. And how you can see morality is very simple. I'll land my plane in a quick second because it's going to correlate. Morality is like this. If everyone adopted certain characteristic traits, would it be good for society or bad for society? That's how you measure morality. So if all men and all women adopted what you're saying, that we should just be out there, men should be paying for box and women should be doing sex work, it wouldn't be bad. It would be bad for society. So that means that it's an immoral act. If some people did it, it maybe won't be bad for the entire society, but we still know that it's still immoral because it would be bad if everyone did it. Make sense? So this is how you measure. Yeah, that's how you measure morality. So since we know that the moral thing to do is for a man to court a woman the natural way and actually get a woman to like him genuinely, right? That's the moral. Okay. Look, that's the moral way. So if it's the moral way, then obviously his dignity, he would have dignity and self-respect. But if he does it the immoral way, which you just agreed to, he can't maintain his dignity and respect. So the morality ties into dignity and self-respect. That's the end of the debate.
And I feel you, but let me offer some counterpoints. And I agree with you on some level.
Okay.
I have mixed feelings about this. What I'm saying, one, these dudes, these high value, I hate using that word high value. These guys with higher incomes, they're not looking for dignity. They're not looking for dignity from some 25-year-old thought. Right.
So real quick.
They have enough respect for society.
I got you. Look, real quick. Saying that men aren't doing this is not an argument. The argument is, should men ought to do something versus should men not ought to do something? Now, we both agree. You agree with my moral claim that it will be immoral. Paying for sex is an immoral act because if everyone did it, it would be bad for society. So that means that it's immoral if one person does it. It's just like if you're gay. Everyone, real quick, let's just flip the example. If everyone was a homosexual, women was sleeping with women, men was sleeping with men, it's bad. We know it's an immoral act because we wouldn't be able to procreate. The world would be gone, right? So that's how you measure morality, right? And morality is tied into respect and to dignity. It's tied into there. But go ahead.
Here's the thing, Cooley. So check it out. How is modern marriage is essentially prostitution. The women. Let me explain why. Look at the ring. Wait.
All right.
The ring is expected to be 3 times your monthly salary. Now, when I was proposing to my woman, it's complicated. She didn't care about that, or so she says. I talked to my sister about that. She was like, look, every woman secretly cares about how nice the ring is. You know what I mean? So why, if marriage is not prostitution, why do you have to buy a ring that is somewhat decent? It's because on some level, marriage is prostitution. Women always consider the amount of money and what they're going to get from you. Now, we don't like to look at it as prostitution because we have such a bad connotation for what prostitution is, but your ability to provide financial resources is a huge reason a woman will be with you long term. Now, she won't be with you short term. Yeah, she doesn't care about that. But if she's going to think about long term stability, best believe the car you drive, your career, all that stuff matters. That's prostitution, man.
Yeah, man. So like I said, we got to go back to what is marriage? Marriage is biblical, right? It just says marriage is two people being married under, a church, and it has nothing to do with a ring or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that.
There was dowries in biblical times too. So finances came into play.
A man being able to provide for that woman, it's God over man, man over woman, woman over children. Should a woman be protecting and providing for her child? Yes. Should a man be protecting and providing for his woman? Yes. Should God be protecting and providing for us every day we wake up in the morning? It's a blessing. Yes. Right? So that part of the dowry, that's just the natural order of things. Right? So as far as an actual ring, and we're talking about it has to be 3 times the man's salary or whatever, you stated, I get that. But that isn't the natural way. You could say that that's the modern way of how people would, be married. And it's degenerate currently right now anyway. Even with the laws, is degenerate. It doesn't benefit the man. It only benefits the woman. So that I get the point. But let's not move the goalposts. Let's bring it back to where we was bringing it. So your point, you're saying that, a woman, men paying for box, it isn't, he can still maintain his dignity and self-respect. Do you concede on that point with since is not moral, right? Then how can he maintain his dignity and respect? Do you concede on that?
I concede. I see what you mean by you saying it's not moral. I can concede on that.
Got it. So, okay. So since you concede on that, man, I would tell you influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior. You have to be mindful of what you're speaking about and who you're influencing, right? So let me finish, right? You are coming on a stream and you saying that, well, it's okay for men to pay for box. You're trying to influence, we got thousands of people who's going to see this. So influence is the most powerful force besides, physicality. Mental influence is the most powerful force. And what we speak creates thinking, and that creates behavior in ourselves and in other people as well. So I would just recommend that, man, we don't want to influence people to do anything that's immoral.
No, I'm not trying to influence. I'm just saying that I'm just offering a different perspective because trust me, I used to think like that when I was here. But here's the thing, man. Would you concede that if a man lost his job, there's a timeline on how long the woman would stay with him?
Well, I can see that there's a timeline on how long the woman would stay with him. Yes, because women are hypergamous. That's in their nature, right? Now, would you concede that if a woman lost her vagina, that there's a timeline on how long he would stay with her?
100%.
Exactly. So I'm that's totally fine. But that doesn't prove any point that men should be paying for box. That just proves the point that women are hypergamous and men are, men prioritize the sexuality in women.
It's proving that male-female relations are inherently transactional. The only non-transactional relationship is the one between you and your mother. That's unconditional. But even in the purest marriage,
that's not unconditional, but I'll grant it to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not always unconditional. You're right. Ideally, right. But like you said, if she lost her vagina, she can no longer transact sex. If you lost your job, you can no longer transact providership. So
Yeah.
what is essentially the inherent difference between the guys that skip the whole process and give the providership and she gives the vagina right away?
I'll just give another analogy. It's about the indirect and direct, right? Let's talk about murder. You have different degrees of murder, right? You have, third degree, first degree, second, third degree. So if you go ahead and drive in a car and you drunk driving and you end up killing someone, all right, that's bad, but it isn't as worse. It isn't as what would be worse is the guy that walks into someone's house, ties up everyone, and shoots them all. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's directly killing someone. The other one is, you killed someone, but it was indirectly, right? So you get a shorter sentence for it. The other one, you get a longer sentence for it. Like, we know the differences between things, and that's what you have to think about when you're speaking of a man paying for box. Like, a man paying for box is direct. Come on, like what the freak? That's compared to a dude walking into a crib and tying up the kids and a woman and offing everybody. You get what I'm saying? So when you look at the indirect and versus direct, then that's when you can truly see the difference. And also when you look at the morality, that's when you can truly see the difference. And then you won't even be thinking that it's a good thing for a man to be paying for box. You'll be like, this is stupid. Not only that, money is just stored time. Money is stored time because you take your time to make money, so it's stored time. So men like to make the logical argument of saving time, so they're going to pay for money. No, you're not. You're just giving your stored time away to a woman. So either way, you can't get away from time. If you want box the natural way, you got to spend a little time with courting a girl. If you do it the unnatural way, you still spending time. Because money is stored time. So then that defeats the time purpose. Because you said men with high incomes and stuff like that, they're looking at it logically and they want to save time. Nigga, you're not saving no time. You're just giving your stored time away to someone. So every point you make, bro, it's refuted. Every point.
So I think
it is literally degenerate to do.
So yeah, but I'm saying it's a matter of degrees, and that's what I said when I first started, and we agreed on that. Like you said, it's degree makes all the difference. And that's when I first started, I said it's essentially the same thing but different degrees.
Well, and it's not what we're speaking of. Yeah, no, but what we're speaking about a man paying for box. When we're speaking about degrees, that's like, okay, should a man be talking to a chick that's only dating him for his money? Or should a man kind of mitigate risk and not go for the chicks that's actually just indulging in their hypergamous nature and only dating for bread? For example, Anna Nicole Smith, she was dating that rich old dude, and when he died, she got all his money. We already know that she was just very, very, it was degenerate, it was immoral, and everyone know her main goal. Her main goal was to get on a will and get that income when he died. So you can speak about those degrees to things, but forget the degrees, because that's like moving a goalpost. We're speaking about it very specifically, a man paying directly for box and versus a man indirectly courting a woman and getting it the natural way. But I got some more people in the chat. You got any? Okay, one more question for sure.
Do you think it's right for a man to take a woman on a date and pay for her dinner? Because back in the day, they used to think that dinner was a form of kind of prostitution. They had laws against it because they thought dinner dates and that form of courting was prostitution. What do you feel about that? When you take
a man,
a
man take. Well, I mean, back in the day, what culture was that?
The U.S. in the 1920s. Seriously, they had laws against that. They looked at traditional dating, where you take a woman out and pay for her dinner and buy her flowers and all that. They looked at it as prostitution. They did.
Well, it could. I have to look more into the history of why that could be. It may not. I don't think it correlates to. Well, they see it as prostitution. I think that it will, if I'm thinking about it logically right now, I would think that it correlates to a woman and the man, that relationship, like, think about it. Like, it was harder for them to know, like, because it wasn't cell phones and stuff and like back then. So it was harder to know if the man is actually paying for box or if it's actually something, you know, genuine out of this exchange of a man taking her out, right? That's why I would say that maybe they put that law in place because maybe prostitution was so crazy and going so rampant. There was like, wait. We don't know who's doing what. So no taking the chick out on a date. But to answer your question, yes, I think that men should pay for the first date and pay for all of the dates when he courts a woman. I think that that's the best thing to do. A man is the leader and he should show his leadership right up front, right? I think that also, even before taking a chick out on a date, a man should show his leadership by being decisive and getting right to the point. Like, hey, I want to take you out, wear this, dress this way, we go in here, I'm going to show you a good experience. Not only that, it puts the woman in her position of following that man's lead.
And I agree
Off the bat, a man needs to hold frame and hold solid frame when he's courting a woman, and it starts from the beginning, even from the first text. But good question, man.
Man,
Will?
Thanks for your time, brother. Keep doing your thing, man, for real.
Yo, where you said you from again?
Maryland,
the DMV. My man's live out in the DMV. I'll be out there soon. But yo, keep supporting, man, and appreciate you, brother. And man, you wouldn't want your son to be paying for box.
No,
So why?
listen, I would never do it. Listen, I've never done it, but I've talked to a lot of older guys that do it, so I see the perspective.
You were understanding their perspective. Yeah. They was trying to brainwash you, man. But anyways, stay strong out there, brother. Peace.
Take care.
All right, we live right now. No Fugazee podcast. We lit, bro.
No Fugazi.
Everyone that is in here supporting, I appreciate the support. Let me get to see if we got any chats that came in. It's a lot of guys, man, that doesn't understand. Like, bro, paying for boxes is crazy. Like, when I put that video up, I had so many people that had points of contention when it came to directly paying for a box. Like, why would you want that? Doesn't make sense. But let's go to, Roland Miller. I got the purple pill perspective. But let's see if Mr. 5-star, you good, man? Your camera on? Camera is not on. All right, going to the next one. Mr. 5-star, bro, if you want to join the chat, your camera got to be on. We have obstacles to opportunities. Welcome to the live stream, brother. Where you from? And state your name. I believe you are muted right now. No audio coming from you. Go into the settings and restream, and you may have to click the audio. While I don't hear you, but while you're working on that, it's right in the settings. While you're working on that, I'm going to go to the next one, but don't go nowhere. I'm going to come back to you. Got you. We got the purple pill perspective, and then we have Roland Miller. All right. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast. State your name and where you from, man.
This is the purple pill perspective. You can hear me?
Check.
Yes.
Shahi is the name. What's going on, Cooley?
What's going on, man? I'm sorry. You said your
Jersey in the place, Jersey in the house.
Oh, you from Jersey, man?
New Jersey, yeah.
Facts.
Jersey.
That's what's up, man. I'm sorry. You said your name was
Shahi with the purple pill perspective, relationship stuff, one-on-one, a couple of
Shahi. What's going on, man? Talk to me.
So, I just wanted to talk to an issue that I had with you just mentioned a while ago about trauma. Now, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology.
Okay,
so
good.
The mere fact that you would tell people that men who deal with trauma become masculine because of that trauma, you can't tell people that because it's misleading.
That's not what I tell people.
Right.
You want me to rephrase what I tell people?
Yes.
Let me state it again. I say that when a man goes through trauma and adversities and overcomes it, he inherently becomes a more masculine man.
That's wrong.
Okay, sure. Talk to me.
We from Jersey, right? Say,
Yeah.
for instance, you standing on the corner of North, You there's a shootout. We both probably heard that before, been through that before. PTSD automatically kicks in. So all of a sudden you move down south. You're in a rural area down south. You're standing on the corner. That PTSD is going to kick in regardless of whether or not you could control it or not, because you're on a corner. The corner has reactivated your PTSD. That has nothing to do with masculinity. You understand what I'm saying? It has to do with the fact that... Go ahead.
Let me rephrase my presupposition, because you're not talking to my presupposition. You're talking out of my presupposition. My presupposition is, if a man goes through adversities and traumas, but he overcomes it, you're talking about a man going through something and didn't overcome it, right? So I have a brother. He did about 20 years in jail.
Okay.
Whole lot of trauma. He never overcame it. He's back in there, right?
Okay.
And he's going to continue to be back in there if he doesn't overcome certain things.
Okay.
I have an uncle that been through some things too. He overcame a lot of it. He doing all right now, right? So when you overcome trauma and you go through certain adversities, ups and downs, but you overcome it, it does make you a more masculine man. And I'll explain the reason why is because men and women, let's just talk about men and how we view other men.
Okay.
If you've been to the army or you were in the military, or you grew up and been through some shootouts and stuff, or you experienced that trauma, right? And maybe you had to do some things that you weren't even too proud of at certain times, or people put you through something that you think and feel that maybe you shouldn't have went through, and you overcome that. Men, when they view those men that did overcome it, we automatically sense and feel the authenticness, and we trust that person a little bit more. That person went to war before. That's the guy I want because he went through war, so I know he could deal with it. That person been through that situation with that woman, but he overcame that. I want this dude by my side because he's carrying himself a little bit more thorough, a little bit more authentic now, a little bit more no Fugazee now, because he been through things, versus the man that lived a coddled life. He didn't go through anything. He didn't have to really overcome nothing too much. We put that man in the hood. We put that man in the military. He gonna fold. He didn't go through things that he had to overcome. So I'm saying that masculinity, right, is built by going through things and overcoming it. You don't just be, when we 18 years old, we ain't valuable as when we 40 years old. We know we ain't valuable. We ain't experienced things that we had to overcome. And that's what I'm saying, that inherently it is masculine and it builds the main character, but it's only if he truly overcomes it. Now let's flip it to a woman real quick. When a woman goes through something and she overcomes it, that's a good thing. We want women to overcome their adversities and their traumas. I'm never telling women not to overcome it. And I'm not saying that men should go through things. That's the other claim. I'm not saying that you should go through things as a man to be masculine. I'm saying that there is a route to still up in the level. You could be wise. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. So people still respect wise men. A wise man get a whole lot of respect. Yeah, I never smoked. I don't even know how to smoke. I never drink. I don't even cuss. So it's like, well, god dang, I learned from other people's mistakes. Other people who were selling drugs and doing things in the hood. I ain't do it. So niggas following me. This is why I got this podcast and it's growing. They're like, god dang, it shows on my character. Like, damn, this nigga authentic. But still, when we're looking at men, the person that went through things and overcame it is still, like, truly overcame it. We still trust that person. And it still builds up that masculine. Like, I did go through a whole lot of things. I didn't live a coddle life, but that's what built my masculinity. But vice versa, let's go back to the woman. When she just goes through things and she overcomes it, the same things that we have to tweak, the same things a woman has to tweak, because we human beings. So women is tweaking things and she's becoming a little bit more non-agreeable now. She got her walls up a little bit more, right? She writing everything in pen instead of pencil.
Yes.
She writing everything in pen instead of pencil. Before, when she ain't go through a whole lot, it was in pencil. So if she went through something, it was able to be easily erased. She been through so much trauma, and men put her through so many things in society, and her job and her family put her through so many things that everything is in pen. That woman is a masculine woman. That woman is unruly. Right. No one wants her. She's unhappy.
Can I cut you down for a minute?
Sure, go ahead. I'll land my plane there.
It's all good. With women, as we know, women hold on to things emotionally.
For sure.
Because they're holding on to so many things emotionally, that emotional buildup is building up on them. So they believe, in fact, that they are masculine because of the things that they went through. So then they throw up a window or a wall to make it seem like, hey, I am more masculine than a man now because I'll face the same adversities as him. Well, really not. You're not as masculine as a man because you face the same adversities. Because as you just mentioned, and I thank you for your clarity, is because this man has built the iron guard now. You can't build the iron guard because you don't have the ability and the facilities to build that iron guard because you've attached it to your emotions. We haven't attached it to our emotions. We've attached it to our character, which builds character even more. Her emotions are capitalizing, and she's easy to break because of these traumas. Something as easy as a pen thrown at her will set her off, whereas a pen thrown at us is just like, come on, man, why are you throwing pens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it proves my point further because it's our biology too. You said that you graduated with your bachelor's degree in psychology.
Yes.
So another
little bit about me. I've been talking about relationships since 1998.
Okay,
so
got you. You versed. Okay,
in relationships.
Got you. So then, you know this to be a fact. Women are higher in trait neuroticism, meaning that they feel more negative emotions than a man. Not only that, they are higher in estrogen, so they experience more emotions than a man and more negative emotions than a man. So that means that if a woman is going through traumas and adversities, it hurts the woman a little bit more. It's harder for her to truly overcome it anyway. So, I mean, but good perspective, man. I don't think we disagreed on anything once you agreed to the presupposition of overcoming.
Right. I'm glad that you clarified, because that's basically why I wanted to come on here. I wanted to get a clarification of what you were saying.
And that's the other thing too. Just because I'm saying a fact that when a man goes through some traumas and adversities, he's more masculine. I am not promoting men to suffer, to be masculine. That's not a good thing. Yeah. Right. If anything, be wise and learn from other people's mistakes, but still assert yourself and still set your goals high and still try to accomplish things that you would think that is unaccomplishable. Because I think a man should be on a journey, right? And an adventure almost, and put himself through certain things despite how he feels.
Yes, correct.
So even if the man isn't like actually going through the traumas and adversities, and he's a wise man, but he's putting himself through like actual things and goals that's hard to obtain, he would still be building character, right? And he would still be having discipline, because it takes discipline to meet goals. So that is another way to still build masculinity as well. So there's other ways that a man could build up a masculine frame rather than doing something stupid or degenerate or having to go through some pain to be a masculine man. That's 100% true. Yeah.
Yes, correct. I left you an email.
Okay.
We'll disregard the email because I'm talking to you now. The email was basically about me talking to you about these subjects. I have to split. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got other guys that want to get in here. I thank you for clarifying that for me, and I guess I'll holler at you another time.
Yo, appreciate you, man, and supporting the podcast. Hey, man, you welcome back on anytime I do one of these, debates. You have any questions for me? And it ain't really even debates. If you have anything you want to speak about, you a man that got a degree, you've been doing a dating stuff for you said since the 90s?
Yeah, since 98, yes. I got a lot of different perspectives on relationships, but my perspectives, as you see, let me break that down to you in case you was wondering what the purple pill perspective means. I want to break that down for you real quick, if you don't mind, right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Right. You have the red pill, and the red pill focuses on men understanding how women are basically, have been diluting men's mental states for years. The blue pill comes in to try to tackle that point, to say that men need to listen to women and understand where women are going wrong, to have tried to attack that mental state of men. The only reason I created the purple pill perspective was to basically say that I'm on both sides of the playing field. So I'm not for men or women. I'm just in the middle. You mix red with blue and you get purple. That's basically
All right, man. Hey, what they do say, man, a strong man stands for something. And if he doesn't stand for something, he'll fall for anything. So I would say, never good to play the middle, always good to pick a side. Truthfully, but have a good one, brother. Hey, so welcome back. Chat, we lit right now. We live. And shout out the dude. He came in. He gave his perspective. Not really too many, disagreements. Probably agreed on a few things. You welcome back in here, man. Let's see here what the chat is saying right now. Instagram. Dang, Instagram is lit right now, man. Let's see here. We got... Okay, Instagram super lit. Yo, everyone on Instagram, I'm about to close down the Instagram stream. So come on over to YouTube. That's No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and bring Obstacles to Opportunities back up to see if his mic is good. And Roland Miller, don't go anywhere. Give me about 10 minutes talking with Obstacles and I'll bring you up, bro. Maybe even less, depending on what he has. So yeah, everyone on Instagram, I'm closing down the Instagram stream now. Come on over to YouTube, No Fugazee Podcast on YouTube. Let's see. Close down IG. Here we go. All right. So, we have Escape with Fugazee sends in $2. Just found you. I'll come talk soon. Keep being real. Appreciate the support, man. All right. Obstacles to bring you in. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast, man. State your name and where you from.
Sean Bird. I'm from Maryland, but I'm over here in Thailand. So shout outs to you.
Oh, my man in Thailand. Okay, brother. I could hear you good now. Talk to me, man. What you got?
Yeah, I don't know what was up. Hey, first of all, man, I want to date Whoopi Goldberg, so you was wrong on that. And that's number one.
You would date Whoopi Goldberg? This man ain't got no options.
Zero.
Homie out here is starving.
I'm starving. Starving Marvin. Nah, so I guess I could play, I could play the other side since it is, disagreement. I know you were actually briefly talking about most men paying for the box. At one point,
we were just talking. Yeah, the guy came in and he said something about paying for box. What you got?
Yeah,
you think that's a good thing?
Well, I'm not saying it's good for me, no, but people are going to do it for sure, right? Like that's just what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I think that net, all people pay for sure. With I kind of say meat. I got it from my homie Coach Greg Adams, but it's money, energy, attention, and time. So everybody's kind of like, bargaining terms, kind of like when you're bargaining for real estate. Some people got concessions. Some people have no concessions. Some people are, going over asking price. Some people are underbidding because they see the true value of it. I mean, it's just massive amounts of prospects that are out there in the field. So I think when it comes down to that, that's what people are doing out in the marketplace. That makes sense?
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what people do in the marketplace, but it's not really an argument. Should people ought to pay for box? No, they shouldn't.
Yeah, no, that's a different conversation. Yeah.
Well, it goes into the conversation because we speaking about is, and then we speaking about should, right? Speaking about speaking about like when I speak about women being hypergamous, that's just it is what it is. They are hypergamous. But then, okay, how should women ought to be? And how should men ought to act with women being hypergamous? So that's an actual conversation we can have. The is claim, I agree that, guys is gonna, pay for box, either virtually through OnlyFans or, one of these sources, or physically in person and do it. But should they ought to do that? No, they shouldn't do that.
Okay, let me ask you this, because all right, so the should and the ought, I think that's very interesting. So when you're having a conversation about the should, for an example, right? You're
Uh-huh.
saying that the way you would want the world to be idealistically, right? Because it's
We're
not
look
about. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're speaking about worldviews. That's why I do these, podcasts where I bring people on. We don't. I also like you don't have to disagree with anything. I like people that are actually supporters of the podcast, but people that have disagreements, that's cool too. But in this discussion here, yeah, it's the how things is and how things ought to be. So if we are going to, have any discussion, it has to be about the ought. And sometimes the is, we got to discuss that because people don't live in reality and they don't understand the is. But yeah, do you think that men ought to pay for box or no?
Well, for me, and no, I think men should just build themselves up to be competent. I think that kind of men get in the market attempting to acquire a wife and a family before they're actually able to acquire their provision and their protection abilities and skill set. Like, trying to acquire a wife and kids is very difficult. So it's not nothing easy. And you have to become a certain caliber of man first in order to figure that out. It's hence why many tribes would take kids away and force them into a crucible, a rites of passage. And, you need those trials and tribulations prior to acquiring those things like a wife and kids, in my opinion. But people do what they're going to do. So they have, unprotected relations. And usually that's where all the kids come from, right? And then people just figure it out.
After. End. They figure it out on the back end. Yeah, man.
So I attempt to tell people about that.
Yeah, that is true. But you calling all the way from, you said in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. What you doing out there, man?
Well, I'm retired. I retired like 4 years ago or something like that. I'm
okay, so you chilling.
Now.
That's good.
So
good for you, man.
Chilling.
You chilling. That's good.
For about 17 years, just working with embassies, did the military, stuff like that, FBI,
that's good.
Stuff like that.
Well, thank you for your service, man.
No, thank you, man. I was gonna say though, so for the trauma part, you said that about men coming up, right? I get it. Shorten the learning curve, right? By learning from the losses of other men and just other people in order to, you know what I'm saying? Not have too much trauma. But I think you made 100%. A key perspective that I want to highlight. You said, because people make trauma seem bad, just period. And I think trauma is only bad when you said you don't overcome trauma. And a lot of people don't figure out how to overcome trauma. You almost level
trauma
up,
for women is all bad.
So women would be different.
Yeah, I would say, so trauma and adversities are different. So we got to differentiate the two. Traumas are the extreme ends. So generally, trauma isn't good for anyone, right? That's what I would say. Generally, trauma isn't good for anyone, but having the mental fortitude and the physical capabilities to overcome adversities, that's good. I think having adversities putting obstacles in front of someone, your name is obstacles to opportunities, right? When you put an obstacle in front of someone, that's an adversity. It means that you have to find your way around that. And that's naturally a good thing. Like for a kid, for example, your kid will never be able to, take his or her first step or speak or put blocks on top of blocks or anything in a very adolescent age, right? Unless you give them obstacles, right? Unless you put, something in front of them for them to overcome. So adversities is, I would say, generally that's a pretty much good thing. And for men and women, I would say, because women, I would say that their adversities shouldn't be the same as men. It should be different.
Yeah. Most definitely it should be different.
Yeah, but trauma is like the extreme end of that. And I think that isn't a good thing. But I do think that for a woman, it's never a good thing. But for a man, if he does overcome it, he can turn that energy into masculinity. And it can benefit him.
Yeah. Now, I think it's not even worth me talking about because it's kind of like
Sure.
wordplay at that. Because I would say it's not
okay,
good,
yeah, probably is
but
wordplay.
it's needed. It's needed in a way because that is life, and men need to be paired for
Yeah,
life
life
in
happens.
all facets, from extreme to diluted. So,
And I would say even some people, it is actually needed. Some people
for sure,
weak-minded and feeble-minded that
man. Oh,
God
man,
is
don't get me
like,
started.
yeah, God is like, man, let me slap you over the head and give you some of this because you still delusional.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and I have seen your channel and I do watch it, so shout outs to you and everything that you're doing. I think your conversations are very above par. With people just arguing and going crazy. But you have that sometimes, right? You can't control it. But
for sure.
Net, okay, so do you say your perspective comes from a conservative Christian perspective?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think the state and the actual marriage should be separated, or that's okay the way it's done and conducted currently?
State and actual,
how should that happen?
So I would say
that covenant.
Yeah, I would say that, well, right now we are living in, like, America is very secular, meaning that God isn't involved in the state. So since God and religion isn't involved in the state, then it doesn't make sense for a marriage to be involved in the state too, because how it is now, it doesn't benefit the man at all. It only benefits the woman. Like, men are signing a contract with a woman, but that contract doesn't benefit him at all. The woman is actually incentivized to leave that contract. So when we're saying state and marriage, I would say that currently right now in 2024, if you are a man that's making above par income, it's best to get married in the church and really not have the state involved, because the state doesn't have God involved.
Yeah, okay, I got you. I kind of agree with that more so because I talk to people that have that mindset and that perspective. But, I think they take a L when they say, oh, I'm going to go to the state because, it's easier on medical and this and that. And I'm like, well, if you're going to be a conservative, you're going to be walking in the eyes of God, you're going to have to stand up even against the state.
You have to battle the devil.
Because the state is no longer underneath that same, let's say, influence, right? Or that same source anymore. And so a lot of them don't do it because, their wife really wants that actual marriage with the license in the state. And so it's almost like you bite the apple. But
and that's why a man should never follow never follow what a woman say. Don't even, what? Why are you, even if the woman,
they do. And they
because
trads.
That too, that's the crazy. They still trad cons, but it's crazy because you're getting into a contract where it doesn't benefit you, but it incentivizes the woman to leave. Not only that, the contract is involved with the state. The state is godless. The state is secular. It's against God and religion. But marriage is within God and religion. So why would you do something that involves the state that is against God and religion, and you make a deal with a human being that is incentivized to leave you? It logically doesn't make sense. It's best, right, to marry just in a church. And if the woman is going to complain, that woman ain't the woman to be marrying.
Yeah. But okay, so,
like,
so for me,
like, if the woman is going to give a man a headache and try to, kind of punish the man, like put all of that stress on a man, like, baby, please, I want the wedding, I want this. We can still do the fun stuff. We could do that. But this contract that we signing, that don't got nothing to do with nothing. That ain't got nothing to do with me or you. That got something to do with the state. Like, God over man, man over woman, woman over children. But with the state involved, it's state becomes the God.
So, no doubt they definitely do. Hey, so let me ask you, would you call yourself a feminist, or you just don't prefer that type of, what's your mindset behind that? Because mine's is a little bit different. I'm sure it's different, so we might not agree on that, but my reason is different also. So I want to ask you that.
Depending on the reasoning, like, okay, the first wave of feminism, we could say that it seemed good in spirit. It seemed good to say, you know what, we want to give women these equal rights and allow them in a workforce. Everything seemed fine and dandy, but we know that it wasn't nothing good came out of it. So I am not a feminist at all. I do not believe that in any type of egalitarian that women should have equal, like, got to think about rights. Rights, men inherently, rights isn't, no one has rights. Like, rights is a social construct. Like, rights is enforced by something. Like, men enforce rights. So how can you say, oh yeah, I want this egalitarian society and I want everything to be equal, when it's like, well, it's not equal because men gave you the rights anyway. So since we gave you the rights, we can easily take it away. But since just the fact that we grant you the rights means that it's not equal. So overall, it doesn't make sense, and it's just all in void. It's nonsense. And I mean, look at where the dating market is. We got women in the workforce. What that did was in the 50s, guess what? The man was the leader of the household, and women kind of respected men more. Now we know that women like to speak about, well, I felt oppressed and stuff like that. And maybe some situations, if you married the wrong guy and he was a bad man, maybe he did oppress you. Maybe he did abuse you. I'm sure that happens because bad things tend to happen in this world. But if he is a good man, no, he's not oppressing you. He's sacrificing his time and energy to provide you a comfortable life. And women tend to respect the man like that. But now with women in the workforce, it messed up the dating market because they're hypergamous, but they're making money now. So all the men that's making under them don't qualify for no box. But in the 50s, those men that was making those, it wasn't like that. A lot of men qualify for that woman. I think you good? Oh, you was frozen for a second, but yeah. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, can you still hear me? Because it broke up for a bit.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good. And Brandon, right. Bond, Zeke, and Roland Miller, you're coming up next. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to take up everybody's time. So the thing with feminism, my perspective would be, I'm not and I just asked you because a lot of men say, well, first wave was good. It's really the second, third, and fourth.
No wave was good.
You can't give up. Yeah, you can't give up any ground, because once you do that, I think with our construct, we're conditioned to protect, let's say, women and children, right? Yeah. And if you give equal power to the other group, which would be women, they're not conditioned to protect men. And so therefore, when you give both groups power, even men have, but women won't do the other way around because that's just not what they're set up to do.
Yeah, her money is her money and his money is her money. Women don't look at,
right? There you go.
They don't look at the world the same.
Yeah, women are
inherently,
I'm like, let it ride out.
Yeah, women are inherently selfish creatures. Inherently, they are selfish.
Yeah, trying to preserve their life at the end of the day. They're the end all be all to ensure their survival. But I think for the most part, the feminist, from my perspective, is, okay, you think this is what it is. I'm going to let you sit this out. Go out here. You're kicked out the garden. This is your punishment. Okay, stand on your own. And then they can only learn by, getting some bumps on the head versus me trying to continuously save them. Can't.
Yeah. Yo, that is facts, man.
Kick 'em out.
But yo, good convo,
Fugazee.
man. Yo, I appreciate you, man. You all the way from Thailand, and you coming in. What time is it out there?
About 8:30 in the morning.
God dang, my man up in the morning like, yo, let me hop on the stream. Yo, I appreciate you, brother.
Fugazee.
Have a blessed one, man. All right. And yo, hop back in the next stream. We do this every Wednesday.
Got you. Thanks, brother. Peace out.
Peace, man. Yo, we are live, man. Chat, talk to me. I see y'all in here. I see the mods in here going crazy too. Let me check out the regular chat. Okay. No super chat, so we good. Let's get to the next caller. Let's see. Roland Miller was next. Roland. Actually, Roland, before I bring you on, man, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick whiz break, man. A nigga got a piss. So don't go anywhere, nigga. I'll be like 45 seconds. Quick one. Wash my hands and I'm coming right back. So listen to this real quick. Understand out the door. Yo, told you I'll be back, man. That was quick. That was quick. And I lied, man. I ain't even wash my hands. It's only me. It's my studio. Hey, oh well. Oh well. It's called No Fugazee, so it's only right that I be no Fugazee with y'all instead of lying, right? All right. Okay, we got the blue one came in. We got Zeke. We got Brandon Bond. Gonna get to all of y'all, man. Let's go with Roland Miller first. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast, man. Where you from? Your mic isn't on. Throw your mic on, Roland. Okay. It's probably gonna come back in. Let's go to who is next? Brandon Bond was next.
Oh shit.
Brandon, welcome to No Fugazee podcast, man. Where you from?
Miami. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. You from Miami?
Yep.
What's up, man? What you got?
Man, my bad. I'm a little spaced out right now. Got hit and ran earlier with all this rain going on today. Basically, I have so much on my mind, but I'm gonna try to narrow it down. Long story short, what's your opinion with this whole Caitlin Clark situation going on? Because it's just a small piece of my ultimate, I guess, the moment I have.
Okay, Caitlin Clark. I'm not sure who that is. You want to explain?
Okay. So right now, currently, she's a basketball player in the WNBA. Angel Reese is also there with her. And pretty much the whole gist that I got going on is that, so we already know that when it comes to sports and everything in history, it's of course you get, discrimination from all sides. You get it from the players, you get it from the guys in the white suits, and you get it from the fans. You get the hate. But the ones who control everything mainly are the ones in the white suits. They're the ones who, and then of course they do play off of the wants and the needs of the people. So, they play on that. They have predictions, and that's why they give, athletes all these money and everything for stuff they didn't do.
Okay. So I'm not too familiar with the Caitlin Clark situation. I just Googled and seen a picture of her. I did see it on like Hollywood Unlocked, the Shade Room, certain people talking about her. I seen like a clip before with LeBron James saying that, he supports Caitlin Clark. I seen a backlash maybe he got from the black community with supporting Caitlin Clark. So it seems to be, this is just, I did no research on it, but it seems to be the black community maybe is a little bit sensitive that, the mainstream media and the WNBA is maybe supporting Caitlin Clark over some of the other girls?
That's not fully it. I'm so sorry because it's such a broad topic that if I can't get everything to it, it does come out, scattered brain somewhat. But basically the gist is it's not the black fans. It's not us. I promise you it's not us. We would love if a white girl could come into the WNBA league and actually physically assert her presence and let it be known, oh, I'm here and I'm going to stay. Kind of like LeBron did when he came out of high school. She got the same treatment as him. She got millions of dollars. She got put on a little pedestal. What has she done? Runs the league in text. No physicality, no defense. Oh,
okay. So the argument is that Caitlin Clark isn't a good athlete like the other girls, but they're pedestalizing and giving her the LeBron status of the WNBA, meaning when she really didn't earn it.
Yep, did not earn
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Points
so
don't translate to championship win.
Yeah, my point on this. Yeah, my point on this is, I personally do not care about the WNBA, is because it's a women's sports. They trash. Why would I watch something lesser? Why would I pick the lesser thing to watch rather than the superior thing to watch? I'm the type of person where I'm always going to choose Superman over Batman. Just give you my perspective. I'm always going to choose Jesus Christ over Muhammad. That's just what I'm going to do. So I respect Batman. I respect Muhammad. I respect the WNBA for them playing.
Yeah.
But where I'm going to gravitate towards, how my attention is going to, gravitate towards, is going to be what's best. So with that being said, it's women playing. It's, people in the media giving their perspectives about it. I don't really give a freak. But did you want to make an actual point to something? Like in regards to that? Go ahead.
Yeah. So my ultimate point to that is, when it comes to men and women, yes, we're different too, but also in this country, as being black, we were treated differently too. So black women didn't start off as housewives. Straight up. Black women started off as slaves. Some were in the field with us, some were doing, other laborers jobs, less laborers,
Got
whatever.
you. So you want to speak about the unfair treatment that the other WNBA players are getting because they are prioritizing the woman that really didn't, they're prioritizing the woman that really doesn't have the skills and the abilities that the other woman has. I don't even watch the WNBA, so I can't even have an opinion on it. Like, it'd be much different if I watched. I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, Caitlyn got that jump shot.
Well, because my topic isn't only about the WNBA; it's broad because I can go into I can go into many different facets, but it all relates to the initial subject that we as black men and women in this country, we weren't brought here to be the same as them. Our women weren't brought here to be housewives. They weren't brought here to be part of the system. They were part here to work. When we got freed, we became sharecroppers. Our women were in us with the field, everything like that. When we got skills and everything, our women learned how fashion, literature and everything themselves, things that could preoccupy them, and also, what women love to do, whilst we men went to work. Then our towns were burnt.
I got the history of it. Let me ask you a quick question to see what I think I know where your point that you're trying to make. You're saying that things weren't equal and black people weren't treated fair. But even though, we helped build America just like they helped build America. So you're saying that things weren't fair 400 years ago, and we're still being treated unfair till this day.
Yeah, but the white people, ask the white people, and they'll say we're racist. They'll call us racist when we go on social media and call them BS. But the NFL just stopped race-based testing for retired players. What, 2021, 2022?
I got you. Let me give you a perspective, because there are certain things. How old are you, man?
27, about to be 28.
27, about to be 28. So there are certain things as a 27-year-old man that you need to realize in this world. The world doesn't owe us understanding. It's up to us to understand the world, right?
Yeah.
If you are trying to egalitarianize everything, meaning that prioritize things being equal, you'll never get there, because races, we're not equal.
Yeah, no.
Right? So since we're not equal, the only thing, it will only serve you, it only best benefit you if you focus and you prioritize of thinking to be the best version of yourself. And you encourage other black people to be the best versions of themselves. Instead of waiting and complaining with your hand out and asking the white man for something. When we look at history,
most definitely.
It never goes, I got you. When we look at history, it never goes that way. The oppressor, if you're looking at it from the oppressor versus the oppressed situation, I see that's where your mindset is kind of is. That's a very victim.
Really.
That's a okay. Well,
I'm so sorry, because
all right,
my bad. I have too many topics on my mind, and I definitely this probably shouldn't be the best.
Well, let me finish. Right,
Yeah.
maybe not the best
I
outlet,
haven't
but
been able to finish my points either. which is why the miscommunication has been occurring. Because I haven't
Got you.
been able
So
to finish my point.
try to make it clear and concise for me. I got you, man. Yeah.
That's so basically, I just want everyone to understand, because mind you, I don't disagree with none of your topics. I watch your posts, your shorts, everything. I don't disagree with them. I believe,
Okay.
And being with 4 sisters and a mom, I still have my dad, of course, but 4 sisters,
Good.
I understand that there's problems with women, and that, hey, women, fix the problems with your brothers, your mom, your dads, your uncles, black women specifically. Fix them relationships with your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your cousins, so that
Got you.
way you can go out into public and have proper relationships with men and don't get triggered by things that you think your brother would say, and so now you think this. You get what I mean? Stuff like
I got
that.
you, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, let's land your plane and make the point. Because you said it was some confusion, and I don't think I was confused. I think that you are looking at things in a very victim mindset. Because it goes like this. Because I'll tell you how.
Part. That's it.
I'll tell you how real quick. And then when I'm speaking, just try to gather up your thoughts and then speak. Influence creates thinking. Thinking creates behavior. The fact that you came on to speak about a topic that is unfairness based off of race, right? Unfairness based off of race tells me that you were thinking about, well, dang, life isn't that fair and this and that. Also tells me that you were influenced to have this victim mindset still have this mindset that you are prioritizing race over everything else. Here's what I'm saying. The white man, you looking for the white man to make any changes in your life ain't gonna happen. You looking for the white man to give you any type of handouts to try to equalize anything ain't gonna happen, right? It's very simple. Black people and all people have to assert themselves to be the best version of yourselves, and then you'll have good results. Yes, things aren't fair. If you don't come in, if you win, it's like this, bro. If the other black girls was dunking all crazy, shooting 3-pointers far range, and super doing Caitlin Clark, making her look silly, guess what? You wouldn't even be here talking, right? So I already know that it is some truth, maybe not all truth because I don't know the situation, but it is some truth why she got chosen to be pedestalized in a WNBA based off of her physical attributes and her skills and what she brings, right? It's the WNBA. They ain't doing the crazy things men are doing where we can truly see the differences. Like we know the differences from Steph Curry. The niggas shoot from anywhere and make it. We know the differences from, LeBron versus other people and Kevin Durant versus other people. We can see these differences. What I'm telling you is the WNBA, nigga, nobody can dunk. They all playing regular. You probably can't really even see any differences. Maybe you can see some of the stats and go off of that. But not only that, it's the WNBA. It's a sensitive organization anyway. They got women in the organization. They got to be sensitive. So I would say this. Maybe Caitlin Clark just has a better attitude than those other chicks. Have you ever thought about that? It could be that. I don't know this. I haven't done the research. I'm just thinking out loud right now. But what I'm saying is, don't have the victim mindset, and it's a silly topic to bring up because you are a 27-year-old man and you want to make big moves in your life. So forget about this, and you should be thinking about creating some businesses, or if you want to debate on a topic that you disagree with me about, maybe you want to, bring that on. But I would say, I appreciate your support. I'm gonna let you get the last word, but I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you for having the courage to still come up here and to speak about things. But hopefully now you gather your thoughts. What you got for me?
So look, it's not a victim mentality. I'm never looked for no white man. Like I said, with my father, he's already started a business. I have another business, shipping in the islands. It's just taking off, really.
But Brandon, listen, is because the fact that you're speaking about Caitlin Clark being pedestalized over these other black girls, well, you're looking at it from a racial standpoint, and you're also looking at it from, things should be equal standpoint. But I'm telling you that we live in a white it's white America.
Happened before I can even finish. Remember?
Sure, go ahead.
So look, Gotta let me finish my statement instead of interjecting, because I'll
Make
admit
it clean and
I am
concise,
over the.
man.
That's what I'm saying. I can admit that I was scattered brain, but you also have to admit you ain't even let me get. So gotta remember, it's not a victim mentality just to bring it up because it's real. They made her a millionaire without her having the skill. This isn't about because I already know she doesn't have physicality. The black girls are going to show her up. It's all you can see it. That's what I mean. I did research this, and I don't ultimately care about the WNBA either. I got injured and I started watching it. So I was workers' comp dude just watching WNBA because I was bored. So long story short, it's not about the women and everything. It's about the simple factor of how literally in this day and age, white people can still come and say, not even still come and say, white people are now coming and being the ones with the victimhood because we literally can physically and just in general show them that we are better than them. That's what I was trying to get off to it. I'm sorry for the scattered brain.
Hey,
That
I got you, Brandon. And Brandon, that what you just said proves my point. And the point that I'm making is that you're still looking for things to be equal versus white and black people. How can it be equal when
I said we were better.
the WNBA?
The girls are better
Well,
than
listen, no.
just
How can it be equal?
in
Real
the
quick.
bubble.
How can it be equal when the WNBA and the NBA is ran? The owners are white.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So you should
It's the
expect.
same thing with
I
it's the
got
same thing
you.
with
Yeah,
Hollywood
so
and
look,
everything. Yeah,
I know you should expect certain things and certain ways to maybe be deemed as maybe not unfair. But we all know in the NBA, because we're talking about skill, where you can really see the differences in between
yeah.
skills. They're ran by all the black players are paid the most and get the most leverage. In the NFL, all the black players are paid the most and get the most leverage. Besides, some of the quarterbacks are getting paid a whole lot more than everyone else. That's because they're quarterbacks and normally they maybe have some better leadership skills than maybe the other black people, right? But as far as what I'm saying is, you're still looking at it in a very egalitarian way to like equalize everything. I want you to understand the reality of the world, that it ain't equal. The white man owns this stuff. The only thing we could do is be the best versions of ourselves and encourage other people to be the best versions of themselves, and then we come together. Right? We want to. If you're going to speak about anything, forget about speaking about the white man doing this. Like, hey, Brandon, yo, I'm meeting Ricky over there. We reading this. We about to build our own organization.
Yeah, that's what I did with my cousin. I got my cousin from the island because I get what you mean, and trust me, I got fed up with it with the talk too at one point because this ain't the first time this ever been spoken about. So that's why I did what that was summer of 2023 last year, where I got my cousin and finally told him. Yeah, and I put my money where my mouth was finally, and we put it
Gotta
towards
invest.
getting a business for it. You feel me? Or to start the whole shipping business in the islands. I'll be shipping stuff from over here to the Bahamas, St. Kitts, other islands.
That's dope.
So I definitely get what you mean on that front because that's
dope.
very much true.
I would say that black people, we need to come together instead of complaining. Do better yourself so you can experience a better life, but then also encourage other black people to do better. But forget about race. Encourage all people to do better. And not only that, if you're looking at it from a black thing, then we got to come together, bro. We're not a together community. We got the Chinese people come here. They got all the Chinese restaurants. They come together. It is what it is. They in the islands too. We got the Mexicans come. Hey, papi, I do any job you want. I get it. Then I get it done. Andale, vato, Holmes. They go ahead and do their thing. They work together. They work hard. Black people, we in competition with one another all the time. We, gang banging and shooting. So forget about that little situation that's happening because it is a very little situation. It's minuscule.
Oh, no, I know. It's just, because little things kind of, paint the bigger picture,
we
what
already
goes
know
on.
that, though. Like everybody already know that.
Oh no!
It ain't gonna be fair.
We can't put that. We can't say that for everyone. Everyone don't know that. I promise you. Everyone don't know that. I've been that statement has been proven wrong by people other people. Sad to say, it's sad to say, but
you mean in regards that everyone doesn't know?
yeah,
I mean, what I'm saying is some people with lower IQ may not understand it, but it's very simple. They own most of the businesses. They own it all. So at that standpoint, we are subordinate to the owners. And only thing that we could do is work hard to become the best, as we've done. NBA, NFL, baseball, golf, Tiger Woods, y'all. Pretty much every sport, the Olympics, we the fastest, we the strongest. So it's like, from that standpoint, yeah, from a physicality standpoint, black people has always showed that we are the best. From a mental incompetence standpoint, black people have not always shown that they are the best. Now, I would say from an IQ perspective, I think the smartest person, he got his IQ done. He is a black boy. But I would say overall, I think the person with the highest IQ currently right now, I think he even beat Einstein's IQ. He's a black boy. But as far as competence and other things like that, and the mental fortitude, we've been lacking as a community, as a whole, and that comes from not having a mother and a father in a household. That comes from the father not being in the home. But go ahead.
Sorry, the comments just funny, dog. I said black women started off as slaves. in this country they did. Well, that was a lie. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Now you good, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get to another caller. I appreciate your support, man. And Brandon, stay blessed. And with that new business you got with shipping things, I hope it goes well for you, man.
Bless. I'm praying so too.
All right, brother. Have a good one. All right, chat. Let's bring up the next person. We got Roland Miller. You are live. Dang, Roland, you dipped off again. Wait, let me see where. Okay, we got Roland Miller. You are live with No Fugazee podcast. Put your camera on for me, man. I see the blue one. I see you in here. I'm gonna get you in here, and I see Zeke. You in here next.
My God, that's great. Trying to get in.
Roland Miller, can you throw your camera on for me, man?
Can't hear shit.
All right, camera not on. Hey, Roland, try to figure out your camera, man. I'm bringing up Zeke, and I got the blue one. You're next. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast. Where you from?
What's good with you, bro? Can you hear me?
I can hear you live and clear, man.
Okay. I'm from Chicago.
You from Chicago? That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Talk to me. What you got?
Man, this show been wild. Just the debate with T. Yeah, that's a special one right there. That's a special case.
Yeah, well, T is I would say that he comes in, and I would say that he's a genuine debater, because he comes in and he's not looking to, take charge, or he's not looking to, he's kind of almost like seeking understanding. He's coming in with an open ear. So with that being said, that was his third time coming in. That's why I allow him to come in multiple times. With that being said, since he comes in with an open air, he just has a different perspective. And that's why I asked him those questions at the end, like, yo, did you have a father in your life? Was the father the head of your mom? What was your grandparent situation? Because I want to see where his thinking came from. It also could come from just a lack of sexual options as a man, where you kind of just like, well, what the freak? I'll take a chick and I'll have a partnership with her.
Yeah, it seemed like he played more the devil's advocate and everything. Like, it's literally things that's logical in what you saying. He be like, nah, I don't agree with that. Come on, bro. Yeah.
Well, and that's the reason why I asked them certain questions, because there's certain debaters and certain people that come on with different perspectives and ideologies. Women, they tend to be attracted to different things than we are. Men, we kind of all tend to be attracted to the same things and want similar things. So his mind is maybe a little bit perverted. So that's why I asked him, is he a heterosexual male, just to see if there's any perversion anywhere. But no, he said he's heterosexual and he dates women. So yeah, man, I think I'll definitely have him back again. But what else you got for me, man?
Um, just I'm just here to man support the channel. Actually, I sent you a message on IG. I'm pretty sure you don't check IG because you probably got millions of people contact you. But I was just wanted to get and pick your brain about like business ventures and just basically on how you got to where you are today.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely didn't see your DM, man. If you do DM me, you probably gotta like comment on a few pictures or something. It's always best to DM the No
Email.
Fugazi podcast.
Okay.
Email or No Fugazi podcast. That one. If you DM my personal IG, I ain't gonna see it. My DMs be flooded. But it's best to DM the No Fugazi podcast because my assistant, that they mod that and be able to, they pretty much view all DMs.
Okay. All right. Well, get to what I wanted to talk to you about. So pretty much,
Sure.
you was y'all was coming back to basically the upbringing and stuff like that. When it comes to like a man getting raised by a man or a woman, and or both parents in the household, I can speak to when you said that men, when they overcome their traumatic experiences, they become more masculine. I totally agree with that because just basically off my situation alone. Um, I grew up. My father left when I was about 4, and my mother resented me because I looked just like my father. I could be
Mm.
like one of those, statistical single mama's boy and all types of other stuff. But that wasn't the case because I paid attention to the actual masculine men around me, the successful men around me, and um, I took how they moved, how they carried themselves, and I paid attention to that. And then I got a lot of what they wanted me to pay attention to on my mama's side. It's a lot of mama's boys. I got an uncle who didn't get to where he needed to by himself, but he basically his mama helped him get through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, so you basically saying that with your anecdotal experience, you definitely know that a man going through some traumas and adversities, it can build the character if he overcomes it. Yeah, 100%, man. That's 100%, man. You had any other points for me today?
and right now, it we lost a great one. It was kind of hard for me to find another man that's talking about like the core values of how a man should be a man, what a woman should do when she's a wife, how she should carry herself, how a man should carry himself. What do you need to get to the relationship status as a whole of our people coming together? And the only person that I did used to watch, I don't consider you a red pill. You just like a realist for real for me. And
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I
how
don't
we should
consider
carry ourselves.
myself. Yeah, I don't consider myself a red pill. I look at red pill as a description, not a prescription. So red pill is just, biological truths about men and women and how they operate in the dating market. Also, you could look at red pill even with politics. Like there are just certain versus, conservatives and liberals. Liberals tend to prioritize feelings. Conservatives, and they feelings too, of course. But if we're looking at it to differentiate the two, they're not in their feelings as much as the liberals. And you see that liberals, they will hijack an argument or hijack a political opponent and make it very race based or very gender based. So they like to play identity politics a whole lot. So that's all feelings based. So there's realities and truths to things. And yeah, I would consider myself a realist, and I'm still seeking truth. I don't know everything, man. I'm a human being just like you are, man. Even though I got this podcast, I'm doing good in life, but I put on my pants one leg at a time, just like you, brother. I've been through certain things in my life that I had to overcome that built some character. And all I try to do is keep seeking truth and speak the truth as much as I can. I really tend to not even have discussions on things that I don't know too much. I tend to only kind of stick with discussions that I do know because I'm not a know-it-all. Truth to be told, I know it could seem like that, but I'm definitely not a know-it-all.
They say that about a lot of brothers that's more intelligent for real. They be like, because even when I was younger, I used to watch Animal Planet, History Channel, ID Channel, all that. Just anything to prolong my knowledge. My because I knew a lot of stuff, and I kind of dumbed my speech down, which I shouldn't have did. But they used to call me. They used to say I talk like a white boy because I talk proper and stuff like that. Too, because if they couldn't articulate the way they wanted to, or they can speak on how they feel, and what's logical fact, they'd be like, "Oh, you missed the actual factual." I get that nickname, so I got to the point where I'm like, "You're right. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Cool."
Yeah. But yeah, yo, Zeke, I appreciate you for coming in here, man. Yo, you said
Oh,
Chicago, right?
yeah. And Zeke, it's
Zeke.
short for Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Okay. Zeke. My bad. Zeke.
Now you
Yeah,
good.
man. Yo, I appreciate you for coming in here, man. And I'm supporting the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next caller. Okay, brother?
Oh yeah, I need that shirt too.
Oh, yo, merch will be up. I'm speaking with my team. We want to do it this Friday, but realistically, it's going to be next Friday. We got the glasses dropping. The glasses didn't even drop yet, but they're finally dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we got the merch. Yo, the shirts is dope. It's good texture.
Yeah.
It's tight around the arms. It don't shrink. So when it drop, man, I'm going to give everyone an update. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm a truck driver, so like whenever I could, you see, I just got done with a work day right now. Whenever I can, like I'm definitely gonna hit you up on the IG. Look out for me. And two, man, I plan to have more conversations. It's just I just wanted to get in on this one because, like, man,
Word.
your debates with T, it be getting me.
Yeah, man. But yo, I appreciate you, man. Have a blessed
All
one,
right,
brother.
bro.
All right,
Yes, sir.
peace.
You too.
All right. So we got we got two more people in here. I see we got the blue one, and also we have Yo Boy Lame. Gonna bring the blue one first, and then you next. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and where you from.
What's up, bro? My name Nick. I'm from East Texas, the Houston area. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing, man? How y'all
Nick
doing?
from
Man,
East Texas,
yes, sir, Houston area. You know what I'm
Houston
saying?
area. That's what's up, man. Talk to me. What you got?
Man, I'm really calling for advice, man. I'm really calling
Okay.
for advice, right?
Sure, man. What's up?
Because I want to ask you, what advice would you have for men, right? Like, say you got a good woman, right? I've been with my woman for about 5 years. Hopefully she's not watching. About 5 years, right?
Yeah.
But she's a great woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this old saying back in the day, right? Excuse me if I talk slow. That's just how we talk in Texas.
In Texas. I
Uh,
got you, man.
uh, one thing I heard a long time ago, right? They said one of the few powers a man has over a woman, right? Not even that, right? One of the few things a man can decide in life is who he give his last name to, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Who he gives his last name to and who he leaves a legacy with, for sure.
Right. Right, exactly. And I guess the advice I'm looking for is, like I said, I got a great woman. She's great, amazing,
Yeah.
right? But from time to time, I see some masculine things that come out of her, right? Now, let me give you some context around that, right? And my girl, she is a certified diesel mechanic.
Okay.
She can take
Proves
a
you
motor.
proves my point to the stuff that the debate I had with T. But go ahead.
Yeah, like, bro, she's a certified. Now, at first, I didn't believe her. I was like, you was a what? And then I seen her,
Yeah.
bro. Like, bro, she can drop a motor out of an 18 wheeler. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's some manly shit. You know what I'm saying? But she's a beautiful girl, great girl, and from time to time, that masculinity it bleeds out of her. You know,
Yeah.
when we have two children, she had a daughter when I met her, great kid, and about 2 years later, we had a child. We had another daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and I I don't know. I guess what advice would you give to men that you got a good woman, right? But from
Yep.
time to time, she can be a little rough around the edges. You know what I'm
Rough
saying?
around
What advice
edges.
would
Let me
you?
ask you a question: is does she follow your lead without
Yeah,
questioning you? Yeah, there we go. Does
yeah,
she is
yeah.
she submissive? Does she ever withhold sex for compliance? Meaning that is there ever a time where you want it, but she like, oh, my stomach hurt, but she said my stomach hurt a little bit too much?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the usual stuff. All good, man.
Yeah.
This is not a stream for coaching, but I will give you some advice, and then I would have to advise you to click that. Let me see. Click the third link in the description and sign up for some coaching. But the advice would be that a woman is a mirror reflection of the man's masculinity, right? So she's only gonna get away and do things and treat you certain ways what she feels that she can get away with. You know what I'm saying? So not listening to you, not obeying you, not withholding sex for compliance, not giving you sexual access at all times. That's what's going to happen. Now, granted, she's out there working an honest job and she's doing a physical labor job. So she's automatically going to be a little bit more masculine than usual, right? But with that being said, when a woman is, masculine, the ways to get her to, even the most masculine woman will submit to just a very masculine man. So if she masculine, that just means that you have to increase your masculine frame. And the ways you do that is by asserting yourself more. And you can assert yourself with finances. You could do that. But I would also assert yourself with hitting the gym. Gotta hit the gym. Gotta hit the
I'm
gym.
a little rough around the edges, man. I could definitely. I
It's
can
all
work
it's
that.
all it's all good. And I'm not saying that based off of, I see that maybe you could be a little heavier in the face, but people got heavier faces, but they ripped up. I'm not even talking about you personally. This is advice that I would give
It's
to,
all respect, bro. It's all respect.
yeah, this would advice that I would give to any man. You want to assert yourself and become the best version of yourself, because that's how a woman will respect you and truly follow your lead. You cannot negotiate a woman being submissive to you. There's nothing you could do. You can't talk to her like, baby, please submit. Baby, please give me sex. Submissiveness comes natural, and women only submit to the strongest, competent, accomplished men, right? So if there's anything that you think that you could work on it, and you want to show her that you're working on it. Not only that, sometimes in relationships that's a long 5 years, you can become a little complacent. You could become a little lackadaisical. You could become a little
That's
bit,
true.
you could become a little bit, real quick, I'll let my plane. You could become a little bit, like there's no mystery anymore. She kind of knows everything. You know what I'm saying? You're very predictable, your behaviors. So women are attracted to mystery men. They are attracted to masculine men. So be a little bit mysterious sometimes. And that's ways where maybe if you like, boys, I'm chilling, playing a video game, I'm chilling with Shorty tonight, I ain't doing nothing. No, go chill with your boys. You shouldn't be in the house all the time. You know what I'm saying? Go do some things. You shouldn't be in the house all the time. Go work on a business, like creating something and start putting things into works. And then she sees it. Like she's like, oh, he said this, but he actually went and did it. That's Poppy. She is not withholding sex for compliance if not only you speak, but you act what you say as well. She gonna be like, dang, that's daddy. I gotta listen to him. I gotta listen to him because he actually preaching what he talking about. So I would say that, man. But yo, the blue one, I'll give you the last statement and then I'll get to the next caller.
All right, for sure, man.
Yep.
Good advice, bro. Like I want to
Thank
thank you for what you're doing, though, bro. Because this is therapeutic. Because they don't have a lot of spaces like this for men. You feel me? I appreciate
Facts.
what you do, bro. For For real. And I just want one last thing, right?
For sure, man.
I want to touch on like manhood for just a second, right? And with a couple of the last conversations we had, I'll say this, right? When I was a teenager, I got two older sisters, right? And I saw the things that my dad would do for them to help them get on their feet, right? And when I was a younger man, I kind of assumed that he would do the same things for me, right? Like he bought both of my sisters cars, right? So when I came around that same age, I was like, okay, hopefully pops hook me up with a car, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. It ain't happening. And as a young man, I felt some type of way about it.
It
But
shouldn't
as
have
I got
happened.
older, right.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I felt some type of way about it. But as
Yeah, when
I
you were
grew
when you were
older,
younger, you adopted more of your mother's mindset, and your mother's nature when you're looking at things should be equal. That's a very womanly nature. When you become a man, you
right,
know that no, things are earned.
right.
It's a
And
father's job to
honestly,
give his daughter. It's a father's job to give his daughter a coddled life, so she don't got to experience the
right,
traumas and adversities of the world. It's the
right.
father's
I
job
heard a
to
comedian say, I heard,
go ahead. Yeah.
I heard a comedian say, my only job is to keep her off the pole. You know, I heard a comedian say that. I can't remember which one, but and
Probably
that's
was Chris
something
Rock or one of them.
Yeah, I think it was Chris Rock,
Yeah, I think it
and
was Chris Rock.
that's just something. That's something a lot of dudes. I mean, the more life you live, the more you'll understand. And I'm not a Muslim, but I credit a lot of my growth to Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yo, that's he is what they have over there. It's a very empowering movement
well,
to men. It's an empowering movement to
well,
men. That's why it's Christians like to go against Islam and Muslims and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, I mean, they
yo,
Christians overall, they
man,
tend to be more tolerant than things. Muslims tend to be more intolerant, and they hold your feet to the fire. But what that does is it builds
right.
character, and it makes you a better person. But yo, listen, man, I got to get to the next caller because they plowing up in here, and I ain't trying to be doing a stream till 12. Yo, I appreciate you, man. Have a blessed one from out from Houston, Texas, man. Come back on the next stream and click the link in the description, man. We could have this conversation without no cameras.
Absolutely, bro. Peace.
All right, brother. Have a blessed one. All right, chat. We're gonna get through a few more calls, and then we are gonna wrap up. I'm gonna hit all of y'all. We got Roland Miller, we got Yo Boy Leem, and then we got Evans just came in too. I was drinking mad water because right before this, I was at the gym. Man, I hit 310 again on bench press, so I was pretty proud of myself. I didn't hit that in a while, so yeah. Yo, let me take this quick whiz break, and I'll be right back, man. Quick whiz break. Quick one. Stay, don't go. All right. I washed my hands that time too. Y'all see it. First time, no, but this time, yeah. All right, chat. Let me give y'all a quick update. So before I let the other people come in, So last week on Friday, we had the first dating episode, blind dating episode. And we had a lot of supporters, you know, they was complaining about like, dang, they got to be more, you know, got to be faster. It was, you know, switching the girls in and out took too long. But we are going to tune it up for this Friday. We're still going to do it. And it's going to be only 45 minutes. We're going to have all the girls on one couch, all the guys on one couch, and they're going to be blindfolded. Each guy is going to ask a question. Each girl is going to ask a question to the guys and to the girls. And it's going to be quicker that day. When they match, then they get to take off their blindfold after everyone matches. So then we also going to give their baggage as well, because that was I know that was a thing that y'all like. Also, we had some people out there, yo, you trying to copy Fresh and Fit. Bro, we didn't even know that they were doing a blind dating episode at all. And we announced our blind dating episode even before they did theirs. So wasn't copying no one. Shout out to them boys over in Miami. I hope them much success. But as far as copying that idea, no, that was just our idea, man. Here, genuine. And I mean, the record shows, because not only that, we posted the thumbnail well before in advance, so there was no copying. Other than that, we got Laura Giatron became a member again, a member for 2 months. Yo, appreciate the support, man. He says, that's cap. She can play. She is straight, can play, and she looks soft like a 3 woman should. The other chicks are hating because of money. Maybe that was just a chat in the comments, because that ain't got nothing to do with what we was talking about. Laura Giatron, man, appreciate the support, man, and becoming a member for 2 months, bro. That's dope. Let's go ahead and bring up, let's bring up your boy Lame. And then I got Roland Miller. I see you in here. You've been having some camera problems. I'm going to bring you up after. Your boy Lame. I think I'm saying that right. Welcome to No Fugazee. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast. Where you from?
Yes, sir. I spoke with you before. I came to your live podcast before. Remember, I was outside walking outside.
Oh, okay.
I
remember you, man.
Yes, sir, man. I'm just back again, man. I just got caught on the guy who was talking about black people needs to be, coddled more in the society by white people, basically saying the white man owes us, we don't need to do anything. And that's the problem with the society today. Too many black people are so playing the victim mindset, and it's so frustrating to the point that you just don't want to hang out with those type of people. You're like,
yo,
bro,
for real.
Like, you gotta grow the freak up. Like, I don't want to curse in your podcast. I'm showing respect.
All good, bro. I say freak too. That's my favorite word, because I don't cuss.
Yes, sir. So grow the freak up and get up on your feet, get a job, go to school. No one is oppressing you right now. You can go outside. No one's gonna put their knees on your neck, not unless if you do something stupid. But other than that, you could just go to school, get a job, get a fresh haircut. If anything, you have more acceptance in college and in jobs because of your skin color.
Because of affirmative action. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, then people out here just like, oh man, F the white man, this and that. It's so funny that, because the thing, as a person, to me, I've had my business for 3 years. I am a self-employed. What I do, I'm a baker. And I am a cookie salesman. I sacrifice my weekends to sell cookies Saturdays and Sundays. I don't even go to clubs anymore like that. I mean, I go outside. Yeah, I go to the gym. I practice. I train. I spar, and then I go home. You know what I'm saying? And then I bake, and then I just use my weekends to make money. But anyway, the point is that there's a guy I met in San Francisco, because I'm from the Bay Area. And he was talking to me about this type of religions, like Israelites or something like that. He was like, oh, yeah. He was telling me, oh, you'd go to the enemy and he would sell your products. Who's the enemy? I was like, who's enemy? What enemy? Oh, the white people. What do you mean enemy? I don't see enemy. I see people. I see money. I see business. That's all I see. I don't see nobody. I don't see color anymore like I was. But before I was just like that. I was one of those big heavy dudes. I was actually overweight before. Like I lost like 95 pounds. Like
That's
in the
good,
past.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would, to the points that you made, I would say, yeah, the Hebrew Israelites, if y'all watching this right now, I seen the clip that y'all made of me, and y'all the ones that hit me up. I know y'all watched the podcast. Y'all hit me up and y'all asked to come on. Y'all reached out to us via email, spoke to my team. We gave y'all all the information to come on the podcast, virtually or in person. You're still welcome on this platform. But I mean, you know, doing like a little hit piece or whatever, after you ask them to come on, instead of just coming on, and you could speak about your points of contention live in person or live virtually, let's do that. But yeah, so if you're watching this, you're welcome here in person or you're welcome virtually. We'll have a discussion, or if you have actual points of contention, we could do a debate. Totally fine. Thank you for mentioning that, because I almost forgot that they did, you know, do a reaction to something, and I barely even watched it. Just I didn't even watch it really at all. Just some people sent it to me, and it was something personal in my life, and they did a reaction to it. But not only personal, it was I was joking. Like, people don't know I have a whole TikTok and I'm like a comedian on there with my shorty, and we be doing mad stuff. But yeah, anyways, the part with affirmative action, I wanted to speak on that. So like the guy with the victim mindset, like affirmative action actually creates more prejudice. The reason why is because you are incentivizing someone based off of skin, based off the color of their skin, and based off of gender. So then the outside people think that, well, did they really work as hard as me to get this position? Right? Did they really do, or did they just get this degree or this scholarship, or did they get this job because of the color of their skin or because of their gender? So it creates prejudice right from there. So affirmative action isn't a good thing. I see how it can be viewed as a good thing. Well, like, oh, black people are so far behind. We need to give them, some incentivize them in some way so they have, more opportunity. But that doesn't make sense if you base off race and gender. You should base it off of actually a skill and ability. Like, that's what it should be based off of. And then not only that, if you want to help black people, influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. Influence them to get back and influence them to have a good relationship, men and women. Influence them to have the man lead the household how the white man leads the household. Influence them, to take care of their community and build things how y'all are building things, because that creates thinking and that creates behavior. So they do things all twisted and backwards. And anytime you start with the effects of things, it creates confusion and corruption. You go to the root of things, it's the cure, it's the antidote. But yo boy Liam, you got any questions for me? If not, I'm gonna get to the next caller because we about to wrap up soon.
Yeah, it's just the mindset thing. The thing about the mindset, it's all about how you portray your mindset in the society. It's like how you envision your mindset in the society. Instead of like playing victims all the time, you can always use that mindset into something productive, right? And the thing is, it makes me happy when I see a brother or a sister doing good for their life, or like in college, or working at a firm or a law, anything like that, any high paying lucrative jobs that's legal, of course.
Yeah.
And that makes me proud. Like, okay, that's a black person. Okay, he's not playing victim. Oh, he knows the tricks of the trade in the society. He knows how to like use the resources instead of like crying wow 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 every time.
Yeah. Get up and make some changes. I'm gonna actually read a comment. Well, you good, bro. I'm gonna get to the next caller. But yo, I appreciate this.
I wanted to say
sure.
The one big example is that fruity dude that had that tried to threaten you. Remember the last podcast? He was trying to threaten you, like, and then you called him a soft Drake looking
Oh yeah,
guy.
yeah,
He get his eyebrow
yeah.
done. When you say he get his eyebrow done every day, I died, man. I just died. I was
Yeah,
like,
man. Homie was sweet.
that's the real definition of a single mom victim black parent mindset.
Oh,
And there's another guy who says there's another clown that came to your podcast to talk about I don't want a relationship, I want a partnership. That's some
oh yeah,
clown
that's
word.
T.
Man, yeah. I mean, anyway, I mean, I appreciate you inviting me into this podcast. I just
Yo,
it makes a big difference between black people and then black excellence. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas and black people. There's difference.
there is a difference. There is a difference. Yo, I appreciate your support, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and get to the next caller. Thank you, man. Hey, chat. I'm going to address someone in the chat because he doesn't understand. King Dada. King Dada, you're welcome to come on the stream and click the link, the first link in the description, King Dada. So I'll just read your comment. You said, how is pointing out obvious racist bias victim? Y'all want niggas to get smacked and do nothing? No one said that, King Dada. No one said that. That's illogical. How did you even extrapolate that from the conversation that we had? So pointing out racism is totally fine. You could do what you want to do. Dwelling on racism and not taking action, or dwelling on the fact that, oh, well, this person is oppressing us and not taking action, well, that's a very feminine trait. Men take action. How can a man take action? Is not by getting smacked and not doing nothing. It's about going there and smacking first, putting your best foot forward and asserting yourself the best ways you can. But instead you have this victim mindset, so it demotivates you. Everyone that dwells in the victim mindset and think that the white man owes them a handout or think that the white man owes them anything, you're an idiot. No one owes you nothing. It's up to you to be the best version of yourself and overcome anything that you're going through and be the best version of yourself. So, yeah, bro, no one's talking about that. We're talking about actually uplifting black people and getting them out of the mind state of victimhood. But you're welcome on the stream to have a deeper discussion because it seems like it didn't make any sense to you. But we got Evans. Welcome to No Fugazee podcast, brother. Where you from?
How are you? How are you? I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great. Outstanding. Happy Wednesday, by the way, sir.
Yes, sir. Same to you.
And I appreciate, shout out to you in the work that you're doing with this podcast. I like the naming convention, having Italian allies myself. The naming convention is really good in terms of this podcast. So hats off to you.
Yeah, and the motivation wasn't Italian at all. The motivation was where I'm from in Jersey. I'm a 89 baby. So back in the early 90s, Fugazee, people used to say that in the hood, like, bro, them shoes is Fugazee. So from my own perspective, my anecdotal perspective, it was black, right? But then growing up and I, did more research and heard more things, I think it was more like an Italian mob thing. Who knows where it truly came from? Because I would say black people normally come up with most of the slang and most of the cool terms anyway. So I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and claim that as the black community as far as I'm concerned. But kudos to the Italians. Got to keep them close. Keep all people close. All good people close. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts? What questions you got for me?
I wanted to kind of start a discussion. Maybe because of time, it probably won't be able to. I want to get as much thoughts as you can and probably submit it to your audience if it's okay. But consider myself a Christian. I am a Christian. I'm not an atheist in no form or fashion. I also don't believe in religion, but that's for discussion and just in means of bio and understanding my background in terms of my belief system and my ideologies and my mindset. With that said, I think the discussion I want to present is I find it difficult for in religion, and let's say the trifectas of religion in terms of your Muslim brothers, your Jewish brothers, and Christian, Protestant Christian, you'll have a belief system or practice when it comes to the religion in terms of ethics, in terms of morals and values. So you'll have a certain behavior. And from that behavior, you'll get from those religions and their dogmas this attempt to have the human being towards asceticism. And it's like, abstaining from the absolute utopia, if you will, in terms of behavior. I have pushbacks with that because in the time that we're living in, especially in these United States, our relationships are transactional. That's the bottom line. That is the mammon, if you will, that a lot of people, if you don't test your character or your morals and values, you kind of be blinded by that and you're moved from that. Your decisions and everything that you do will precipitate from that or be a precedent for you. So what's your thoughts on this subject matter in terms of abstaining in the walk of the Christian faith, if you are a Christian? And secondly, do you believe in capitalism? Like, is capitalism your thing? Because I'll just say this before you answer. There's no right or wrong, obviously. But in terms of capitalism, I don't think people that look like me needed it. When you look at our origin, we worked or lived, for lack of a better word, as a community. And so the basic food, clothing, and shelter was provided from generation to generation. And then capitalism came in and said that we need 50 bathrooms for one asshole. Excuse my language.
Yeah. All right. So, I believe in capitalism. Capitalism is a natural occurrence when you're competing out there in the market, because I believe in open markets. So, in regards to when you look at, Black people, in sub-Saharan Africa and, thousands of years ago, it was much different. We can also say that maybe, because when you look at it, like, how did Black people really become enslaved? How did they really become enslaved? Well, then you got to think, how does anyone enslave someone else? Well, the strong person, the more competent person, a person with the stronger military, the more aggressive and assertive dominant person can enslave. They only enslave the weaker person. There's never been a weaker person enslaving the stronger and more dominant and more assertive person. It's never been. Now, possibly in the future with technology and stuff like that, and, if we're really going to be living in the matrix because, AI and the machine world could come about, it could be a little bit different. You can have weak people enforcing having the physical enforcement by using machines and AI. That could happen in the future. But thinking in the past and how the world has always been, only the strong and competent can enslave someone. So we have to admit and say that, well, Black people at a certain time in Africa was incompetent, meaning that there were more competent people than us. Competent meaning that, competent is a broad term when I'm talking about this, but let's just say having a stronger military than us. Right. So when you are living in an open market and capitalist society, it's competition, it's hierarchy. And if you're prioritizing that, you're always putting the best persons in position. So then you have the best persons in the military, the strongest people in the military, the best persons at this job, the best persons at that job, right? Because it's open market, it's open market capitalism. So I would say that, well, one, if we have to admit that we were weaker and probably we weren't prioritizing God over man, man over woman, woman over children. And I'm not saying that white people were prioritizing that order either, but we do know that they were prioritizing military, right? Alexander the Great took over so much land, and his general renamed Kemet Egypt. He did that at the age of 23. So a 23-year-old white man that's leading an army was so competent and militarized and aggressive and dominant that he took over so much land in a short amount of time. Well, that means that those people weren't prioritizing the things that they should have been prioritizing to protect themselves and preserve what they have. So anytime you're living in society like that, that's not prioritizing the best, then you're gonna fall short in some aspect. So this is why I do.
And I understand
that. Does that make sense though? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you just made was factual, but I kind of went a little bit more deeper in terms of you're a religious man is a better way to ask the question. And so this notion that you'll have this utopian practice when from the dogma, you're the worst of the worst. You're a bottom feeder, if you will, for this lack of better phrase.
Yeah.
You're a sinner in air quotes. So you can never do any perfection according to the dogma and to the doctrine. And so you have to come to a yielding, let's look at Christianity. You have to come to a yielding moment in terms of Christianity and say you're a sinner and then yield. But then it's integrated, I see, in terms of religion in America. It's integrated in terms of copying capitalism. And so like it's not necessarily about the practice of being a righteous person no longer. Now you're engaging in copying, you're playing copycat for imperialists, because I took a business course, and we know, a human in us knows that people are out of a job in a Fortune 500 company, 1 million people are laid off. It's not a good thing. But in terms of our numbers and our way of doing business, it's cost effective. So I find that it's almost disingenuous how religion is presented in this dynamics of economics, because the two are the same, sadly. Whether it's right or wrong is not really what I want to present. But I feel like there's a hypocrisy when it comes to this abstaining, because no one really does it, if that makes sense. no one really does it.
I understand you. I understand what you're saying now, and I agree. At some point, the morality has to supersede the nature. The nature in the man is to, be the best and to have the most amount of money, have the most pussy and money. He want to have all the girls and all the money. But the Bible is a complex book. It has many different stories. It talks about what leads men astray. And what is the downfall of man? Normally it's hedonism, pride, and it's women. So you got to think about it. Pride is, all right, you're making so much that you don't want to, help your own community and pay down. You know what I mean? You don't want to uplift other people and give some handouts where you don't. It's a good thing, and Jordan Peterson talked about it. Women tend to, what most podcasts don't speak about it either anyway, but women are good and necessary in society because they tend to point out the sensitivities. Well, they're more sensitive than men, so they tend to point out the injustices and stuff. And I told that King Dada guy, it's okay to point out injustices, or it's okay to point out things that are not equal. It's okay to bring that to the forefront. It's okay to, put a light on it. It's just not okay when you dwell on it and it takes over your character and you become lackadaisical and you have a victim mindset. That's when it's not okay. But furthermore, I think that it's good to have a good balance when it comes to like Christianity and capitalism is like all in the same. Think about Numbers and Deuteronomy and everything else. It's all in there. America built their society off of the Christian values, you know what I mean? Off of the Torah values and everything that it talked about. But I do think that...
So you don't ever have pushbacks where you like, you know what I'm saying? Like this thing, like the funny thing about Christianity...
I do. I'll say this. I'll answer your question very directly. I do, man. I have so many sponsors that want to sponsor my podcast where I can make a whole lot of money, man. Weed sponsors. I had a company, it was called Pussy Water. They wanted the sponsors water, but it was called Pussy Water. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Didn't even reply back. So many weed companies, so many products and stuff that I just don't believe in. I don't think that is good for men. I think that it could become a vice for a man. But they were offering the bag. I said no. I didn't do it. So the morality has to supersede the nature. If my nature was superseded, I'll be having so many sponsors. Like the one sponsor that I played today is black-owned business, tech business. It's like, cool, yeah, man, I sponsor you. And they're not paying me much. They're not paying me hardly nothing. I'm not getting paid hardly nothing for it. But they hit me up. They're a good business. And I said, hey, I kind of like what you guys got going here. Sure, man, I'll go ahead and bring you guys on. And I get paid hardly anything for it. And I turned down so many thousands, tens of thousands of dollars since I started this podcast as far as sponsorships. My other sponsorship that I just did is T.H. Hanley. And, you know, the skincare product. Okay, well, this isn't degenerate. I think men could enhance their, not prioritize, but consider their skin a little bit more, especially since I do a dating podcast and men are approaching women or men are just in relationships with women. They should take care of themselves and their hygiene, etc. So me, myself, and I'm trying to practice the good things that is taught in the book. But you are right. There are times, and we see it all the time, certain celebrities, and I mean, most of the celebrities and most of people that really made it somewhere, man, they not even helping out the hood. They don't care about that. So if our own people ain't helping out the hood, like the dude with the victim mindset, you expect the white man to help out the hood? Right. Nah, like it don't make no sense. But go ahead, man.
Right. No. I agree with that sentiment as well. I think it's a discussion where, because there are some, I'm still on the fence in terms of capitalism, because, reading the books like Wealth of Nation and The Invisible Hand that exists in this country, you just really got to filter yourself on the micro level in terms of your family, because there's no man who would not want, their family to be well-to-do, taken care of. So, but again, you'll have references to the Bible in terms of, if I want to just stay in all day for 24 hours, I'm idle, I'm lazy. I could have took that money, flipped it 24 ways, and silly things like that, as though that was the motive of operatum, or your reason for existence. So it's really, really, really challenging. It's good to hear you even talk about it and stuff like that, in terms of even some aspects that have, just hypocritical. I stay away from politics and so forth, but at the end of the day, I mind the business that paid me, just like my neighbor. So the coffin is not shared, sir. I don't want to keep any more of your time, but the coffin is not shared. So I try to kind of move accordingly.
Facts, man. Facts. Man, I would end it with this, man. I appreciate the call in and giving the thought-provoking question and statements that you made. I think we're in agreements here. I think, morality does need to supersede the nature. I would say that what the Bible speaks about of, the idle hands, if you're not doing much, idle hands does the devil's work or something like that. The reason why is because we're here on this planet to, like, one, procreate, but two, be of service to one another. So if we can find a void in the market or a void somewhere, and if you can provide a service, that's a good thing. Now, it's not a good thing when you're providing a vice. When you're providing something that that isn't good, morally good. If a multitude of people become addicted to something, or a multitude of people do it, that isn't morally good, because it's not good for society. So and I don't think the book teaches that. I don't think capitalism actually teaches that. I think that capitalism just teaches the core units of like, yo, it's open market, supply and demand. Find a demand, make the supply. But it never is not saying, oh, find a bad demand, like men are addicted to porn and things like that, and give a supply to it. That's not what it's saying. It's just that people tend to just do bad things because we're human beings.
Right. Right.
So
No,
I
no,
think we could
and
utilize
you're right.
capitalism in a very good way.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's up for discussion.
It could be. It could
Because
be a longer. I
yeah,
know you got questions on
yeah.
it too, and even me, it's a topic that I 100% don't know everything about, and I could definitely put more thought into it. So I'll welcome you back on, Evans, to come on maybe next weekend we do this every Wednesday. So
Okay.
any Wednesday you want to come on, I encourage you to come on, and we can have a much longer, deeper discussion about it, man.
Yeah, because definitely what I was just going to say, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to kind of let it off and stuff like that. So I appreciate that.
For
Shout
sure.
out to you again. Just to introduce, we really have to empower. I like your approach, and sometimes it's what the Congressional Black Caucus says. I may not agree with all their policies, but I will agree with this statement that said it's not common enemies or common friends, but common interests. Uh, Sometimes it's just a disconnect with strategies within the solidarity. And what I mean, people that look like me all over the world. So
Yeah.
there's a narrative that's done here in this country when it comes to black and white identity. But that identity policy is done here because here's transactional. But overseas in the world, you kind of see the whole board, and then they're not going to say what you and I, if we're going to some five-star hotel in another country, there
Yep.
go the black guys. I'll add to they will not even use white hegemony's naming convention with the N-word. They're not going to do that. They're going to say they go to Americans. So we
Yep.
just got to really think, and sometimes it's just not knowing self. I'm not a 5%er, but I like their approach in terms of knowing thyself and really getting some historical context in who you are. Again, the coffin is not shared. So some research, you just have to identify yourself if you want to really do better and look at the scale. The only thing that gives me comfort, and I'm gonna land here, is everybody dies, sir. Everybody, the rich, the poor, they die. So sometimes our disconnect is because we don't have anyone to transfer to the other side to tell me, hey, how is it over there on the other side when we die? So it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to that invite, and I'll take you up on it, sir.
Fair enough, man. Thank you for supporting the podcast, man. Have a blessed one.
Absolutely, you too.
All right, gonna bring in one more caller, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for tonight, man. Been streaming for like, how long this stream been? It's been at least 2.5 hours. Wait, I started at 7:30. Nah, bro, this stream has been long, probably like 3 hours. Yeah, it's about to go on 4 hours actually soon. So let's bring on the last caller. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and where you from.
Hey, what's going on? No Fugazi.
Hey,
David,
man.
David, what's
Welcome
going
back,
down?
man.
Not much. Hey, well, I know it's we on like a time consuming, but this ain't gonna be long.
For sure, man.
So, I don't know. I got my little daughter with me. Um, I don't know what Israelites that y'all probably came across, but I know myself. I do believe that us a lot of us so-called blacks are Israelites. But I just want to come on here to clarify. I'm not the ones that's going to be doing all the baiting. But as Israelites, for the most part, we don't look at it as a black and white thing. We look at it as a race. So a lot of you may come across a lot of us that may say it's not about color. We all know about the true identity of the Messiah and things like that. So it's the way how, according to the biblical knowledge and the studies and the history of all of that, when they say Esau, from our studies, the Caucasian man is Esau. And according to the Bible, it says that Esau would be the last kingdom to rule on earth, and then Jacob shall be last. That's why we have it like in Revelations 21. It talk about the kingdom of Israel, the 12 gates of Israel. And quite often, even though that's what it may come off, because that is like spiritually, that is the biggest enemy nation wise. But in reality, it's not a black or white thing. It's not a even a Israel versus Jacob. It's really all the nations that come against the Most High, and His chosen ones, His chosen nations are Israelites. So anybody that come against us, against the Most High, all of them are enemies. It don't matter what color or what race that you're from.
Yeah.
So our whole purpose as Israelites is to believe in the Most High Yahuwah through His Son Yahushua Hamashiach and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, and having us to repent. And that's really what the whole thing about. It's just everything else. It goes a part of the program, not the program, but part of the mission. So when you read into Acts, Peter asks about the restoration of the kingdom, and the Messiah told him it's not that time. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much. I just want to summarize the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't done too much research on the Hebrew Israelites and the things that they believe in, and maybe the differences between the other religions and stuff like that. I know that they call themselves the original Jews, the original people, God's chosen people, and all of that is fine. But at the end of the day, when you read the Bible with the New Testament, it's all in void, because that's playing identity politics. When Jesus came back, it's already known in all of the scriptures, with also Matthew, Luke, and all of them. They've already confirmed that no matter based off of your religion, your nation, or anything, if you repent and be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ, you will be filled with the Holy Ghost, and it will be a place for you in heaven. So with that being said, anyone that repents their sins and change their ways and actually seeks Jesus Christ, they are the chosen people. So when I look at it and I hear people just playing identity, I look at it as it's just identity politics. Different from the Jews right now in Israel. It's just all, at the end of the day. So it's like, for me, it's just like, I mean, cool. I mean, if that motivates you to do better as a person, fine. That's cool. From a personal standpoint, I think that all human beings are trying to find something to self-motivate them. But yeah, man, it's what is Acts 2:38. Repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ, for the remissions of your sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. So with that being said, man, yeah.
That's I believe that's Acts 3:19. But I will like I said, I'm not gonna hold you long, but I
Yeah.
will recommend
In the
to
King James
read.
Bible, that's Acts 2:38. But
It's probably
sure.
it's
What you
probably is
recommend?
twice. So I will recommend to read, and I'm gonna stay in the New Testament. I will recommend to read Matthew 10 verses like 5 through 10. Romans chapter 11 verse 1. Romans chapter 11 verse 1 through 3. Romans chapter 9 verse 4 through 8. Or really that whole chapter, really Romans chapter 9, and Luke chapter 1, verse 68 through 75.
Got you.
To where
Yeah.
where it talks about identity, that's where it states about identity as far as salvation. Now,
Yeah. And
I
it,
do want to clarify this. I do want to clarify
sure.
this. There are some of us Israelites that say that there is no salvation for it's only for Israel and that only Israelites build the kingdom, through my studies, that is no, yes, it will be an Israelite kingdom, and there will be other people, other nations in the kingdom with us, and they will have their place when you read Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 through 3.
Yeah. And I feel what you're saying, man. I got no, there's no quarrel here, but
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
telling you is that when you read the Bible, bro, the whole Bible, it could be interpreted so many different ways. We could say that the whole Bible is playing identity politics all the way up into the New Testament almost, because it's only talking about God's chosen people, right?
I mean, that's all the way through the New Testament. James chapter 1 and 1.
It's not through the New Testament, because Jesus says, bro, anyone can receive the Holy Ghost if you repent and you are baptized. There's a place for you in the kingdom, right? So that's has nothing to do with gender or race or nation or anything. We are all human beings. We're all conscious human beings. So everyone has a place if they repent and be baptized in the name of Jesus, but actually change their name, or actually change their ways, not just go through the acts of doing it. Like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and, God forgive me for my sins and be baptized. No, God is God. That's the reason why they say only God can judge, is because God judges us off of our heart. Me and you, we don't know each other's heart, so we can only judge each other based off our actions. God knows the heart, our true intent. That's why King David was God's favorite, because God knew King David's heart. Even though he took the woman and got the woman's husband killed, but one thing, like the one thing that was very special about David that God didn't even ask for, David, he pretty much built like the. I'm gonna build you a church. I'm gonna worship you. Like, I'm gonna have service and worship you. Like, there wasn't any like worship and service before David. Like, King David thought of that. Like, no, we gonna worship you, God. So,
yeah, he
like
set that
God,
up. Yeah.
like God knows our heart, bro. So I would say that if we're gonna look past, if we're gonna like play identity politics and say, bro, it don't matter what you do or anything, you would never have the same position as me in heaven, it's like nonsensical to say. Like, there's so many even other passages within the Old Testament, because the Old Testament mirrors what the New Testament is what's to come out of the New Testament. It kind of mirrors it almost. Like, it talks about the degeneracy. It talks about how to overcome things. It speaks about how you're supposed, a man is God over man, man over woman, woman over children. That same order has been through it. It talks about Numbers in Deuteronomy, a hierarchy. Men is on top. Be competent. Be a leader. Be wise. All of these things. Don't indulge in hedonistic behaviors. Same thing in the New Testament. But you think that is going to say, like, okay, only these chosen people now are only going to make it in heaven, regardless of anything. But I just read to you certain passages already that disproves what you kind of said. Like, there isn't, the chosen people is, bro. Like, let's just logically think about it. If you are a God, say you create a computer. You are the God over the computer. You put the zeros and ones in it. You're not Apple. You're not Microsoft. You got this new computer. You created it. Now, you give the computer, you know all the ins and outs of the computer, and you got people in there. Right. And you got people in there operating, but you want people to love you, and you want to love other people. You want to love what you created. So you give them free will, because if you didn't give what you created free will, it wouldn't be love, because then you're controlling everything, right? So you want to still give people free will, the ability to make choices, meaning that the opportunities may not be fair. The outcomes may not be fair based off of where they're living and the families they came from, but you still got free will to make a choice based off your own circumstances. So that's love. That's what God gave us, free will. So you create this world in a computer. You want the people to seek you, you want them to know that You want to feel loved. The only way that you can feel loved is to give them free will. So why would you say, wait, these people here are the chosen people, but everyone else, it isn't nothing you can do. It don't matter how genuine you are. It doesn't matter, if you're not a sinner at all, you live a righteous life and you seek me, that I'm not going to accept you in my kingdom. It doesn't make sense. Like, even you of your own creation that you made, you still would accept everybody as long as they seeked you and worshiped you. You would do it yourself. It's just a fact. Every human being would. Like, unless you're just immoral and it's like, no, I got a people here, everyone else, hell. These people here, heaven. Like, well, wait. These people over here can be doing even better than the people that you chose. So that don't make sense. And not only that, you're God, so you know the heart. You know actually what's in people's heart, so you could truly judge. So I would say, just to look at it more logically, these are topics that I haven't really discussed. Kind of all new to me, kind of first time really speaking about it out loud. I had a pastor on my podcast like 2 weeks ago, spoke about some topics out loud that I normally don't speak about. I think about, I've seen that one, but don't really speak about. Yeah, light-skinned fella. So I don't have all the answers to this either. So I'm still seeking myself, but those are thoughts that I've thought about deeply that I hope yourself and the audience can make some sense of it. But other than that, man, I appreciate you, because every time you come on, you do show support. You are a supporter of the podcast. And we do have the Israelites. They said they wanted to come on. I don't know if you know them, but tell them to come on.
Depends on what school they from. I think when you said they made a video about you, I was like, I think I may know who that is. But we have so many schools.
Yeah, so many schools out. Yeah.
Yeah, so shouts out to my brothers. We are pushing like the same thing as far as like men getting in order, getting your place in your homes, women getting in order, getting your place in homes. Yeah. So you're speaking on a lot of morals and a lot of foundation that we all, because at the end of the day, it is all scripture, but we are entitled more to learning who we are. Like, I know the brother was talking about, like, why was black people slaves and stuff like that? Well, the scripture talks about that in Deuteronomy 28. We just got to read it, and he tells us. I'm a firm believer that the Bible has all the answers, even if it's not blunt. You just got to read the context, and it'll tell you. But I'm sure one thing they're gonna get back with you.
Yeah, like I told them, they're welcome on the pod, and I mentioned them before, like, because they've reached out like maybe 2 months ago, maybe, and my team already spoke to them via email and told them that, hey, yeah, man, you welcome on virtually or in person, whatever you want to do. I don't even know what they want to discuss. They did say that my views align with their views as far as like maybe dating and relationships and stuff. So I'm thinking that
a lot of points that you be coming from. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I thought everything was all kosher, but they did make a piece, a reaction, but it's like, all right, it's whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure who runs their Instagram. Could have been a woman. Who knows? I
doubt if it's a woman.
He said, I doubt if it's a woman.
I would hope not. But we love these conversations, though. We love these conversations, though.
Yeah, these good conversations, man. But other than that, man, blessings to you. I hope you do well in life and all your endeavors, man. And I do this every Wednesday. You're welcome back, bro.
All right, no problem. Shalom, shalom.
All right, man, have a blessed one. All right, chat. Man, we about to wind down right now. We've been live for about 3 hours now. It's been fun with you guys. We got brother Ezekiel sends him $5. He says, it was a lot more I wanted to say, but I kind of lost because of the caller before me. But hopefully we can get deeper on the scriptures. Yeah, man, for sure, bro. We could feel free next Wednesday. I'm doing another stream. Feel free to call in. But other than that, quick update, chat, we are going live on Friday. We should be doing another blind dating episode. It's not going to be as long. It's not going to be 2.5 hours. It's going to be like 45 minutes. And then we're going to do an after hour show with all the ladies. and talking dating and relationships as usual. So tune in to this Friday's show. We're doing 2 shows. Other than that, man, continue to support the podcast and check out the links in the description. Second link is to become a member. If you support this podcast and you want to watch it grow, don't be a ninja watcher. Like the podcast, click the notification bell so you're notified when we go live next. But also become a member and support the podcast, man. If you need one-on-one coaching, click that link. I do coaching on masculinity in men and also dating and relationships and couples coaching. I also coach a lot of women too. And media and marketing coaching. So if you have a business and you want to scale up with marketing, hit me up. I'll give you some advice on that. Other than that, man, this podcast was no Fugazee, and we out, man.
No Fugazee.